Hey guys, hopefully this is live. I see the chat. Let me know if we are indeed live. There is going to be, of course, a short delay. Got my little notepad here. A lot to cover and go over today. If you guys have any questions, let me know. And yeah, we are going to go over this case until we cannot go over this case anymore. So we didn't have any videos uploaded today. It's very difficult to make videos at this point in time. But yeah, we are going to try our best and explain what is going on here. So hopefully this is live. I got my phone. I'm going to double check it is live. Yes, work good. Okay. So I'm going to double check. We do have a lot of different topics to cover. It looks like we are live. Oh, hi, David. Okay, advertising. I don't know, like, a lot of times you don't even get paid on these advertisements, right? They're just kind of... All right, so I have this chat bot here, and we're just going to get started. So one thing that a lot of people wanted to know was my take on, and I got a lot of comments on this, was this about Apollo Legend? Was this about, is it okay to re-upload the verdict? Official channel deleted it. Hope that's not contempt. Even if it is contempt, you guys have to understand it's Australia. So it is Australia. So there's very little they can do to a citizen of the United States. Patel, no longer doing Watch Talk, unfortunately. You know, this is kind of a once in a blue moon. I do not remember the last... I live streamed yesterday for about 3 to 4 hours. But yeah, I do not want to do any more live streams after today. We're going to cover this issue and in painstaking detail. So this one is on Reddit. And I want to address the Reddit first. The PDF is here. So at least for me, because I had pulled it up last night, if you Google this, it will actually show up, right? So we're going to talk about what this means and overall why people are turning against. We talking Tarkir launched then. Yeah, MTG. Yeah, Magic the Gathering. No, that channel is almost dead. I do not know. So I don't derail it, but I just don't have the time to really upload as much as I want. Yeah, new Tarkir set for Magic the Gathering. It looks okay. I'm not really into it, but the SpongeBob Magic the Gathering set is definitely really, really cool. Yeah, this is going to be a doozy. We are going to talk about what happened. You can see in this Reddit. So I want to show you this as evidence. This is a Reddit on our gaming. It has 14,000 upvotes and 1.5 thousand comments. And they're just roasting Karl. So Karl was being roasted for a few different reasons. Let's do it. Number one, people feel that Karl lied about whether or not the case... Oops. Of course, this is... Of course, this is online notepad, so it doesn't even have the ability to scroll. So people feel that they were lied to by Karl when they donated. People felt like Karl had made this about cheating when it was not about cheating. It was about Apollo Legend. So I'm going to address this. I do not think, my personal take on this, having read all of the information, got information myself. Yeah, Reddit used to love Karl, but they are absolutely against Karl at this moment in time. And I want to just kind of share why this could be the case. So Karl, a lot of these people are now, they have turned on Karl in a way that I felt is unfair to Karl, and this is why I want to address it. I don't think he ever intentionally misled people in believing this was about cheating. I think that's just, if you're in Reddit gaming, that's what you care about. That's why you're in the Reddit gaming. You're in it because you want to see Billy Mitchell be punished for cheating. So it's really easy. Now, I will say that, did Karl tell you it was about Billy Mitchell and the Apollo legend? No, he kind of left Apollo legend. Like, when I was watching his videos, I didn't hear Apollo legends at all. So this comment is pretty good. To clear things up, Karl Jobst has always made it seem like this lawsuit was regarding Billy Mitchell lying about his world records. It wasn't. It was about Karl defaming Billy by claiming some other person committed blank due to Billy's lawsuit against him. That's exactly correct. We looked at the imputations. We're going to take a look at the case. F. Billy, he is a bag of blank, but Karl definitely misled people on the lawsuit allegations. So here is, and you bet your ass Billy will use it as vindication towards all his cheating allegations. Karl screwed up here. So essentially, I understand why people have turned against Karl. Do I think it's fair? Do I think it's unfair? It is what it is, right? So what happened was, in terms of the GoFundMe, and we're going to take a look at the GoFundMe, the large majority of people thought this case was about cheating. And in 2021, there were some claims that it was about cheating, but it was always about Apollo legend. So those claims never got dropped. Whether or not the cheating claims got dropped later is irrelevant, because the Apollo legend claims never got dropped, and they were the 5 claims, or 5 imputations. Yes, so Karl made a video yesterday due to his spot, and we're going to read, we have Karl's tweets here, maybe we'll cover them next. It's very interesting. And he deleted the video. He also, in real time, changed the tweet about appeal. So will Karl appeal or not, I don't know. But in his original tweet that we were looking at yesterday, there was mention of appeal, and there's just no mention of that today. So we're going to go over whether or not Karl can appeal and what his chances of are winning. But I want to cover the backlash that is Karl. I think it is unfair. Yes, people were donating. So if you donated to Karl's case, hopefully you were donating not in spite of Billy Mitchell cheating. You were donating to battle Billy Mitchell in some way, which did happen. This case did go to verdict, right? Yeah, so that's my understanding of it. Was Billy sued Karl for 2 reasons. One was about cheating, and one was about the Apollo legend. At some point in time, the Apollo legend continued while the cheating got dropped. That is my understanding of it, right? So this case has always been about Apollo legends. It has maybe in the beginning been about cheating, but it's no longer about cheating. How do people keep managing to fumble against Billy in the courtroom? This guy just keeps getting away with it. Mitchell just knows how courts operate and how one should behave. Whereas, yes, so one of the reasons, if you look at the case, the judge did not like Karl's attitude. He liked Billy Mitchell's attitude. We're going to get to appeal a little later. So one of the reasons that Karl lost was he kind of came in there as a sore winner. Like he expected to win already. He expected that he couldn't possibly lose. He was already talking about punishing Billy by having his legal. We can look at all these tweets, right? In hindsight, it's arrogance, right? It is hubris. The Greek word for it would be hubris, where you think you can win. Yeah, so DMCA, we will look at that. Billy did announce that in his lawsuit in 2021, which is this same lawsuit. It is this same lawsuit. He mentioned that he was suing for Apollo Legends. So this was always about Apollo Legend. It was never really about cheating. I think a lot of people misunderstood why Billy had a chance to win. So the judge even mocked him for seemingly gloating in advance. And again, this is this is, how you conduct yourself in court does matter, right? So the judge does not like how, and he's mentioned it many times. I have it tabbed up here, where Billy Mitchell is acting like a nice guy. He's acting friendly. He doesn't want to destroy people. And then you got Karl, who's just sheer arrogance, right? Sheer arrogance, right? We're going to talk about if Karl can go after the lawyers, but I just want to say this, that a lot of people, and I agree with Karl on this, they thought that Karl misled them. I don't believe that was the case. I believe they kind of misled themselves. It's a kind of a disaster, right? Like, it's a disaster where you came there overconfident. You came there thinking that you cannot lose. You came there thinking you're going to slay the dragon, right? I mean, there's no other way than the judge said this himself. You are going to slay the dragon. Yes. So Rex, Billy told a better story. But it's not just that Billy told a better story, it's his lawyer told a better story. It wasn't Billy telling the story, because if Billy told the story, he wouldn't win. Right? It was his lawyer telling Billy's story in a legal language that the judge was like, yep. And it was the other. So in the thumbnail here, who's to blame? I made a video before I went to verdict. I made a video before I went to verdict saying that if Karl were to lose, it would be the fault of his lawyers. I'm going to make this argument and break it down to you today as well. At the end of the day, Karl had a story to tell. He told his story. The judge didn't believe him. In fact, Karl notes exactly why he lost. I mean, yeah. So it's about storytelling, right? I lost. The judge found Billy to be a credible witness and believed his entire testimony. What Karl was not saying here is he didn't believe Karl's testimony. So you can read this two ways, right? There's two ways to read this. You can read this as, he just believed what Karl said, or you can say, he did not believe. If he believed what Billy said. I've been taking care of my 8-month-old for like the last 6-8 hours, so I'm a little bit, So if I exchange the names, please. Hey, Stevie, please bear with me. You can either say, when you read this sentence, it's either going to go two ways, right? It's either Billy is a credible witness, and I believe Billy. Or Billy is not a credible witness, and I believe Karl. The judge said even though he has a reputation that many people think he's a cheater, it doesn't bear on the case at all. But here, I want you to understand, it's about storytelling, right? Why was OJ innocent? He told a really good story. If the glove does not fit, you must acquit, right? It even rhymes, right? It even rhymes. So when you're talking about what happened here and why people are turning, Karl lost, and he didn't just lose. It's not like he lost by a little bit. He lost by a lot. In fact, he lost by far more than anyone, even me, who gave Billy Mitchell probably the most chance of winning, could never have imagined the judge telling Karl to pay Billy Mitchell's legal fees. Right? The whole premise of this is, don't worry, guys. We're going to beat Billy Mitchell, and when we beat Billy Mitchell, he's going to have to pay my hundreds of thousands of dollars of legal fees. And we're going to explain, why maybe this impacted the law firm. We're going to talk about from the very beginning why I thought the law firm was not good. Karl, there's no way to spin this. There's no way to spin this at all. This is a massive disaster for Karl. I do not think Karl can spin this in a way which, like, he comes off as a victor or I slayed the Billy Mitchell dragon. We all know that's not true. We all know that everything went against Karl, and everything that could go against, everything the judge could give to Billy, he gave to Billy, right? So, why the internet is turning on him right now? We will look at the Erzcat's blog. We looked at it yesterday. I don't think it's been updated today. We will To understand why the internet has turned on Karl, Karl has made promises that he would beat Billy, he would hold Billy accountable for cheating and other things, and they would punish Billy by making him pay. They would punish Billy by, by shaming him, and he would make more videos about... I don't think Karl is going to make another video about Billy Mitchell anytime soon. It would be a disaster, especially before appeals are done with, right? At the end of the day, the best fact, and this is the only fact that I imagine that the judge really looked hard at, was when Apollo Legends made a YouTube video where then he offed himself, right? He never mentioned, right? He never mentioned Billy Mitchell. But he did mention other YouTubers, including Dark Viper. So if he felt Billy Mitchell were to blame, wouldn't he just blame Billy Mitchell? Like, why would he omit Billy Mitchell from this, right? This last video of his, when he's omitted other, he's actually called out other YouTubers specifically, right? As a result of this. So at the end of the day, and this is kind of Karl, this is what people don't like, okay? I think there's a lot that we can gain from the Reddit. This is still misleading. I'm not allowed to talk about this. Okay, now this single sentence disclaimer is out of the way. Here's several long videos where I imply things about the case while technically not discussing it. So the way that this whole thing has been framed by Karl could have been done better. But do I blame him for misleading? No, I think at the end of the day, everyone on this subreddit, R Gaming, wanted Billy Mitchell to be punished for cheating. Right? That's the goal, right? That was what they believed was being promised. That is why they donated. It was not misstated. They were just kind of misled themselves, in my opinion. And that's why they have turned against them. Yeah, and this is exactly what they say. Barlow found Mitchell did have an existing reputation as a cheat, and for suing people who alleged he was a cheat, and found that Mitchell had expressed joy when he believed incorrectly on an earlier occasion that AP may have died. But Barlow found Jobst had severely damaged Mitchell's reputation and caused distress. To be clear, Billy Mitchell is still a blanking douchebag, but he was not responsible for somebody committing blank. Karl was way out of line making that accusation and rightfully lost. So this is the general consensus that I'm reading online. I think at the end of the day, that is correct, that in terms of whether or not Billy cheated, that's an argument for another day, for another court. But was Billy Mitchell defamed by Karl as to the statements on Apollo Legends? The answer to that is yes. And the answer to that was not just, like, aggravated is really tough to get in court. Like the judge says, like, he has to really be dislikable. Like, here's the thing, okay? The judge doesn't know gaming. He doesn't know any of this stuff. He's just kind of reading the facts in. He sees two people. One of them is, humble. He's ready to throw up. He knows how to present. I'm talking about Billy Mitchell. Billy Mitchell's lawyer and him know how to present an image to the court, right? Of this guy who's been defamed, who's lost maybe money due to it. And then you look at Karl. Over arrogant. They're misstating very simple timeline issues. They're not together. I was telling you about at the end of the case where the judge announced that, hey, Billy, you won. Well, what did Billy's lawyer have? Billy's lawyer had a tab, he had a notebook, he had case laws, he was throwing out cases, he was talking about the $3,000 and this. He already had expected he would win, but if he had lost, he would have contested some of it. And then you go to Karl's lawyer, And he's like, oh, I'll just look at it tomorrow. That's not a good impression. So I understand, like, when Erzcat is talking about, oh, they corrected it later, talking about the closing statements, it's just not a good impression. It's like you're not taking it. I mean, what you have in the corner one person who's acting appropriately in the way that the judge is viewing as kind of a victim, right? And then you have another person who's like, yeah, I'm just going to, if I win, I'm just going to make his life miserable. I'm just going to continue this behavior. I'm just going to continue making video after video after video. I'm a sore winner. These are statements that were made during litigation. The Camelot interview was during litigation, right? These statements should never be made during litigation. Even if you feel this way, do not go on somebody's live stream and tell people you are a sore loser. That was probably, I mean, if you are the judge here and you give Karl the win, do you not feel a little bad about this Billy Mitchell character? Because you know Karl is going to annihilate him. Right? You cannot, like, this is a very logical thing. This is a very human thing. If you know there's a party that if you hand them any victory, they're going to annihilate the other party and make their life a living hell for the next 20 years. The Camelot interview was the worst thing Karl could have done. Like, I have no idea. Like, the Camelot interview was so bad. And the thing is, Camelot was not helping Karl. I bet you Karl and Camelot think they're really good friends, but that type of interview doesn't help. And the fact is, his lawyer, so he had the same lawyers that we saw yesterday as he had during the Camelot interview. Like, do you guys know this case was litigated in early 2021? So any video, any interview, any tweet that Karl made from early 2021 until even yesterday, the judge saw. And what the judge saw was, hey, I can't possibly hand this guy the win because look at how he's acting. The guy hasn't won yet. Karl hasn't even won yet. I believe if Karl had said, hey, let bygones be bygones. I just want to get this case over with. I'm not out for blood. I'm not going to make 100 videos. I'm not a sore winner, right? No, I'm just kind of trying to get on with my life. And that's what I recommended. You can look at my settlement video. People thought I was crazy when I said Karl should settle. People, the problem here is everyone on Reddit loved Karl when he was going to go slay the dragon. They convinced, this is Karl's life. This is Karl's life. And he has a wife. We saw the wife on the video. She was with him when he got the verdict. He has a small kid. This is about Karl's life, livelihood, and the debt. You don't poke the bear that much and expect, like at the end of the day, this is not how you act and behave. This is not how CoffeeZilla is acting and behaving. This is not how Attorney Tom is acting or behaving. This is not how Logan Paul is acting or behaving towards coffee. Like, you can look at the plaintiff. You can look at Billy Mitchell. After Billy Mitchell sued Karl Jobst, how many videos did he make of him? How many tweets? How much more content did Billy Mitchell put out there? You might be like, oh, he just doesn't do content. That's a good argument, but my argument would be, okay, that favors him. Karl had attorneys that could not control him. Karl had attorneys that were more interested in money than helping him. Because if they were interested in helping him, they would say, Karl, I cannot represent you. Here's the refund of your money. Yeah, free tweets. That's it. How many tweets and how many videos and how much content? Hey, I cannot refund your money because I don't agree. Oh, Billy Mitch, that is the official. Let me confirm that. Let me show you how I can confirm. You can click on this. You can go to Go Channel. And yes, this is Billy Mitchell. This is unfortunately the only way that we can find your channel is if Billy Mitchell comments. But Karl, I mean, why would you continuously attack this man? You're in litigation since 2021, right? Like, let's see how many videos Billy Mitchell made. He made this one. This is like an appearance video. This one, like, how many of these videos about Karl? Is this Billy Mitchell? I thought he had like a video about suing Karl. I'm pretty sure this is Billy Mitchell, no?
I'm Billy Mitchell, video game.
Okay, I mean, unless it's somebody impersonating Billy Mitchell. Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure this is Billy Mitchell in the comment section. But like, how many videos did Billy Mitchell and how many tweets did Billy Mitchell make about Karl? So you have a situation where somebody's going nuclear during trial, like during litigation, because he believes he can win, right? He believes it's all guaranteed that he would win. And now look at the same people who loved Karl when he was going to slay the Billy Mitchell dragon have turned on him. And this is very, very important to understand. This is very important to understand. Let me explain Apollo Legend, and you guys correct me if I'm wrong. Apollo Legend raised money to battle the dragon that was Billy Mitchell. People were upset when people were very upset when Apollo Legends settled. He settled for his mental health. He settled for himself, his family, and so on. Right? That was the right decision that he made, in my personal opinion. Like, if you're in a lawsuit and it's driving you crazy, it's stressing you out, you don't really know what you got yourself into, settle it. Shake the guy's hand, settle it, agree to terms. So many people in the gaming community went after Apollo Legend. Right? And they said, oh, you should battle. Those people don't know what it's like to be sued. Those people have probably never been sued before. And it's really interesting when you donate $5, now you feel like you own somebody's life and decision. I think what Karl did was yes, there was a supposed allegedly $3,000 settlement, right? Which is kind of a joke when you consider the eventual verdict. He did not have the right people around him. He did not have the right law firm around him. He did not have the right people supporting him to tell him, hey, even though you think you're going to win, there is a chance that you lose. And if you lose, you're going to lose a lot. So is it better just to settle, apologize, move on when you can, or just continue this? And he was very vindicative. We'll just continue to read. To clear things up, Karl Jobst always made it seem like this lawsuit was regarding Billy Mitchell lying about his world records. It wasn't. Again, this is probably the best way to describe it, in my opinion. It was definitely a lot of people feel like they've been misled. And only today are they learning about Apollo Legend. Most of these people do not know who Apollo Legend is, because that was before their time when Karl was making videos about Billy Mitchell. So, I remember the videos. He very much made it seem like they were about the cheating accusations. He didn't have to give the actual subject to not make it seem like another. I had the same conclusion. The reason the internet has turned on Karl, number one, he lost. Karl's newest deleted video was about how gullible people actually are and how people watch a YouTube video and instantly believe it. Very iconic. This would be ironic considering the drama around him now. Yeah, all the comments I see on Reddit and all the comments I see on his Twitter is, who the hell is Apollo Legend? Who's Apollo Legend? Well, what? So all they did was they tuned in to see the verdict. And what they heard was not about Donkey Kong or red joysticks or all this cool stuff, right? Plaques and Namco things. They didn't hear anything about that at all. So they're going to the verdict. They're going to the verdict, right? so people are tuning in, right? Maybe this is the first time they really followed up, right? They maybe donated money to him in the past, and they're like, okay, we go into verdict. All right, we're expecting to win. We're gonna pop the champagne. We slay the dragon that's Billy Mitchell, and then they hear the judge. In the beginning, they're like, okay, this is not bad, whatever, right? And then they're like, who the fuck is Apollo Legend? So they're just watching this, and saying, like, wait, what is this case about? It's about cheating? Like, when are we mentioning the Donkey Kong? Where's Donkey Kong? So, at the end of the day, this is why they're mad at Karl. Because Karl, I don't think he intentionally misled them, but a lot of people were misled. A lot of people were misled into believing this was about cheating. They didn't mislead themselves. Did Karl do any favor? No, Karl definitely didn't talk about Apollo Legend, right? Now, I watched Karl's videos. I did not see about Apollo Legend, right? Okay, let's go to Karl's most recent tweets. This is his most recent tweet. I removed my last video. Obviously, people are upset. So it is better I address the concerns of the public first and make a video explaining everything before releasing future videos. I would ask you, wait for my video before making full judgment. I'm sorry for releasing the video today. It was due to a sponsor obligation. So people don't like this either, right? But that's far less important than addressing your concerns. So on this same day, he actually released a video which is not related to the Billy Mitchell or to his case to help a sponsor. I guess he had an obligation. I generally don't believe Karl ever intentionally misled or lied. I think that he wanted to remain quiet because that's how ongoing cases should be handled. But lying by omission is still lying even unintentional. Maybe I'm wrong. I think this is what most people would say. Karl didn't mention anything about Apollo Legend. Nobody knew this thing was about Apollo Legend, minus the people like myself actually covering the case. If you cover the case, you know it's not about Donkey Kong or red joysticks or any of this stuff, because you would tell me about this and I wouldn't even know what you're talking about most of the time. Right? And then the Namco plaques and all this stuff, right? Hey, thank you, Scruff Scrollfula. Why? Okay, so let me answer this question. This is the question I wanted to answer, okay? This is the question I wanted to answer. Why is everyone turning on this guy after he lost the lawsuit? I'm confused too. Everybody supported Karl, and now these tweets comment section is saying they don't trust Karl anymore. We need more context. Okay. The context is they believed Karl was 100% going to win because they believed this lawsuit was about cheating. And they believed there was a lot of evidence, a lot of proof, right? That and based on Karl's own videos, video after video of accusing Billy Mitchell of cheating, what could we come from? There's nothing else we could take away from Karl's conversation except it must be. So if you didn't actually cover the case, if you just took your information from Karl, right? But no, so JB, I do not think, I'm correct. This is correct. I don't think Karl misled anyone, but I think this is what it is. I think this is exactly what it is, okay? I don't believe Karl ever intentionally misled or lied. I think he wanted to remain quiet because that's how ongoing cases should be handled. But lying by omission is still lying, even so. This is why people feel like they have been wronged. I do not think Karl was intentionally trying to lie, but by making video after video about cheating and the joysticks and the Namco plaques and cheating, Twin Galaxy. Where's Apollo Legend in any of these videos? Right? Because the Apollo Legend stuff is very, very untasteful. What happened to that guy is a travesty, right? It is beyond. It's something that the gaming community does not want to revisit. This man, Apollo Legend, a young man, lost his life. because of bullying and harassment, according to Apollo Legend himself, from the community. Now, one of the people he did not mention was Billy Mitchell. He mentioned certain YouTubers by their channel names, including Dark Viper, right? Yeah, this is the real Billy Mitchell. Yeah, it is the real Billy Mitchell. So it's lying by omission. So when you make 15 videos about how Billy Mitchell cheated and we're going to fight him in lawsuit, everyone knows I'm fighting him in a lawsuit, the average individual is going to watch the video and say, oh, this must be about Billy Mitchell cheating. Right? You never once mentioned this Apollo. I think he maybe mentioned him one time. But the reason Apollo Legend wasn't mentioned, right, even later on, is because it is a very, very taboo topic to talk about on YouTube. It's probably going to get you demonetized, right? My last video was demonetized because the judge kept talking about the blankicide, right? So the judge's like, this is a blankicide. Once YouTube gets that word, it's done, right? It's done. Yes, just not recently, Gregory. What is the attention span of an average gaming Redditor? So Gregory, you're correct. He did mention the Apollo Legend stuff in a long ago video. But in all recent videos, can someone point out a video recently where Apollo Legend has been mentioned in the context of Billy Mitchell and so on? I don't think so, right? I do not think so. So I think it was unintentional by Karl, because he understood the lawsuit was about Apollo Legend. Therefore, he's not going to talk about Apollo Legend. He knows the lawsuit is not about cheating, so he felt comfortable talking about cheating because that's not what he was being sued about. So out of all the people who knew what this lawsuit was about, Karl would know most of all, right? He's in the lawsuit day to day. So if this lawsuit is about cheating, then you probably shouldn't make any more videos about cheating, right? Allegations of cheating. But if this lawsuit is about Apollo Legends, I think Karl felt like it was safe to make these videos about Billy Mitchell. Right? It was safe to make these videos about Billy Mitchell because it was not relevant to the case. But in doing this, what happened was everyone thought this case was about cheating because that's all Karl talked about. But maybe Karl talked about it because he knew it wasn't about cheating. And therefore, any new videos he added, right? The red joystick, it was never, nobody even mentioned this, right? TDR, Karl made it seem like this defamation case was about him calling Billy a cheater. It was mostly about Karl implying Apollo Legend blanked himself because of Billy. Now Karl looks blank and owes a lot of money to Billy. So the winners rewrite history, right? You always want to kind of be on the side of the winner. And I would imagine that the judge cooked Karl. Mr. Jobst intended to be the knight who slew the Mitchell dragon. Unfortunately for him, his lance was not as strong as he believed it to be, and it was broken in this contest. That's basically it, right? That's basically, in a nutshell, what happened here. If you had to pick one sentence or two sentences, I guess, to describe what happened. But I still am I'm not positive why Karl went so. Okay, so let's say Karl really cares about speed running. He does, I don't discredit that from him. In the overall architecture, right? How important is it that whether or not, for me, okay, I'm not one of these hardcore gamers. I only started covering this case relatively recently, right? And I try to cover it as fair as I can on both sides. But how important is it to you guys that Billy Mitchell cheated 15, 20 years ago? Let me just ask that, whether or not he cheated or not. It's a game a long time ago. Like, does it... Yes, Billy Mitchell is in the chat. Does it make sense to go after someone to the extent that Karl went after Billy over that type of allegation so long ago? I know there was a documentary and so on. I get it. I get it. But holy shit, I mean, you do not want to be Karl's enemy. Like, to a layperson, maybe Sean, maybe you're like a gamer or something. Like, I would say this, like, you know, as a layperson who's not really like, you know, I don't really have all that time to play. I play Fire Emblem, I play Pokemon, I play like, you know, the gamer, you know. I'm like, this game is Donkey Kong? Like, we talking about Donkey Kong? Like, I mean, why would this man, like, destroy another man's life over these... I mean, it just doesn't make sense to me. Like, I mean, I do not understand why Karl felt it was his duty, his God-given duty, to slay the dragon that was Billy Mitchell. Right? Like, I don't understand why Karl made text after text after text is Karl trying to slay this dragon. I read somewhere in a comment, so this isn't my comment. Have you guys read the book Moby Dick? Right? And it's Captain Ahab, and he's chasing that white whale. Do you guys know how the story ends? Do you know how the story ends to that book? So, obviously, Karl Jobst is the Captain Ahab, and Billy Mitchell is the white whale, right? The dragon. The story ends up with the Moby Dick, I think that's the whale's name, killing Captain Ahab. You know, yeah, even if Mitchell cheated in arcade 2 decades ago, I personally do not care if my life goes on. If Mitchell can live with himself, then who cares? He's not hurting anyone. Yeah, this is my point. This is my entire point, is like, who is Billy hurting? Like is there, you know, like, even, like, again, it's allegations. If it's a lie, it's a lie. If it's not a lie, it's not a lie, right? Like, but who is he hurting today with this? Like, is there anyone who is, like, really butthurt over this? Is there anyone's life who's made that much worse by Billy Mitchell going to a convention, you know, wearing King of Kong, and I mean, has Billy Mitchell stolen anyone's money? Like, there's a lot of crypto scammers, like we did Hawk Tuas. He's going to get away with it, by the way. Hawk Tuas is going to get away with it. So not only get away with it, she's going to get her own documentary. And then she'll kind of launch off to the moon, right? The Hawk Tua. There are so many more people who've done so many worse things. Okay, so we're going to talk about Billy Mitchell and his lawsuits. We'll talk about that at the end. But I just wanted to cover, you know, we're going to focus and finish this off a little bit. I believe this is not... The video is now unavailable. So the only way... maybe I don't have a clue, but I don't need a clue, right? The judge has decided, Rex. It's over. It's over. And we're going to talk about appeal. We're going to talk about appeal right now. This is unappealable, in my opinion. In fact, when I watched the video, someone sent me a video yesterday, and it was like the interviewing. They were interviewed and right after the trial, and they said, "Are you going to appeal this?" And the attorney said no. Karl's attorney was like, "No, we ain't going to appeal this. We are not going to appeal this." No, I do not need a clue, because you need a clue, Rex, because I think at the end of the day, there are winners or losers, and this one has been decided. And if you're still arguing it and you're saying I don't have a clue, Rex, I think you have no clue, because this is my channel, and any other statements like this, you know, statements attacking me. These are the one thing I won't allow in my channel, because I have a kid, is ad hominem attacks. So you can attack the argument, and I will counter, I will battle, and maybe I will agree with you. But if you're making personal attacks on me, How does that further your goal? Like, this is the whole problem with today's society today. In today's society, there are a lot of people like Rex. They make personal attacks. You have no clue. You have no clue. You have no... I have made more videos about this topic, the case, than anyone. I've gone over this thing in a 4-hour live stream. Who else has done that? Yet I do not have a clue. Yet Rex has a clue. Rex, if you have a clue, we live in a democratic country. We live in a country where it's controlled, where people get to vote, Rex. People get to vote who they want to watch. Rex, you go live right now. I am asking you, show your face, go live right now, Rex. I'll send some people over, and people can vote on who they want to see. Do they want your opinion, Rex, or do they want my opinion, Rex? Go. We live in a democratic... The beauty of living in goddamn America is people have a time. They have they only have so much time. Rex, you go live stream this, buddy. You don't need to be here. You go live stream, and we'll see how many views you get. We'll see how many people agree with you, right? Like, here's the thing. This is why I know this is not getting appealed. Before this, even Erzcat, who is... I love Erzcat, right? Erzcat. I love Erzcat. But he's got to be one of the biggest Karl Jobst fans, right? No, we are just going to ban Rex and say goodnight to Rex, and that's it. Goodbye, Rex. Okay, so Rex is gone. We don't need to see that dude anymore. That's the power of YouTube, right? That is the power of YouTube. Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to explain to you why I don't think this is going to get... Let's doesn't out. Okay, cool. Okay. So I do see that Karl's fans are doing really well. They take everything super personally, right? And then that guy, Cypher's gone, right? Rex sent to the Shadow Realm. Rex went extinct. And that's the beauty of YouTube, right? If you don't like somebody's content, why do you keep watching it? Why do you keep commenting negative stuff about it? Why do you keep attacking me? Like, what is your objective here, Rex? Because you can no longer comment. And I doubt anyone's going to watch your videos. Right? Okay, there you go. So we got rid of Rex so we can focus on this. Before the judge made his verdict, after the trial was over, let's take a look at Erzcat, right? Erzcat. What is Erzcat? It's like Donkey Kong something. Donkey Kong blog. Well, what is Erzcat's blog again, guys? Yeah, this is neutral. This is neutral analysis based on a judge's decision. How can you say we don't have the facts? This is the facts. Like, how can somebody say you don't have the facts when we're looking at 118 pages written by a neutral judge? Okay, like, if we don't have the facts, what the hell is this? Right? What the hell is... We will cover the litigious... Perfect Pac-Man, thank you. I'm going to show you exactly why I do not believe... I'm going to show you exactly why I do not believe there will be another Billy update. My first playthrough. Billy Mitchell versus Dave Race. Okay, so yeah, I'm going to read this. There's something where it really struck me as like, okay, this is not getting appealed. Judge then tried to nail down the timeline based on paperwork in front of him. Karl put the words up on 26th of May, then took them down on the 4th of June, and told Keemstar the day he had done based on Keemstar's word. KB then noted Karl, this is Karl, the attorney, noted Karl's claim to Keemstar that he would make a statement if the words are proven wrong. The judge then cites Karl as saying if nothing concrete comes up, he would just leave the video as is. But then the judge notes Karl did get a note from Apollo Apollo's brother that Apollo didn't give Billy any money, and he put the words back up anyway, didn't he? Obviously, the timeline is a little mixed here, but that's fine. No problem. Judge was a little confused on the sequence of events. It's understandable. There's a lot to go over, but it's all there. Just politely correct His Honor before it gets out of hand. Instead, KB agrees with the incorrect timeline. He agrees with Karl that Karl put the words back up for a few days before taking them down again, which is true, but happened before Karl spoke to Apollo's brother. Judge said these actions were inconsistent with Karl said to Keemstar. KB, which is the attorney, said to a degree. Judge said completely. KB replied that it's not completely incongruent because Karl said he would make a statement about it, but he ultimately did. Judge responded, but he didn't have to leave the version with words edited out. To the contrary, having been told the video was wrong, he put it back up again. KB awkwardly answered, for a number of days, I accept that. KB then added that Karl did not ultimately go on to make a statement about it. Yada, yada, yada. Look at this. I mean, this is the level of quality of KB. Right? I think there is some part here. Yeah, Billy, I don't know what Rex has against you, but that dude does not like you, Billy. I do not know who Rex is, but holy shit, that dude is, I mean, he's, be careful, Billy. That dude is a little insane. This is, okay, at this point, I started to panic. This was completely wrong. This is Cat. We are not on, like, Billy Mitchell Fan 101's blog, right? We are on Cat's blog. We are on Cat's blog. Look at what he's saying. At this point, I started to panic. This was completely wrong. And this incorrect timeline paints Karl as some malicious actor. Okay, Cat is a non-lawyer. He's using the term malicious, malice, right? Obviously, there's the worry that the judge himself was so badly misinformed, but I'm sure he was planning to carefully go over the evidence before rendering a verdict. More urgently, I thought KB, which is, again, Karl's attorney, Karl's barista, that's KB, has to correct this. It's his job to advocate for his client. The judge is, in a way, relying on KB to make the case. He is. Again, this is a non-lawyer saying what all people are thinking in the court. That KB has to make the case. Right? KB is Karl's attorney. It's up to him to correct the judge. It's up to him to do the timeline. So the judge doesn't have to do it all himself, right? Instead, KB sort of moves on. He said, it is relevant along with other things like the apology. Just look at the way he's saying stuff. He doesn't not know the case. Look at how he's saying stuff. This is his mother effing closing argument, right? This is his closing argument. This isn't them battling it out. This isn't them fighting tooth and nail. This is his closing argument. Let's look at some of the words that he's using. Okay? Blah, 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 blah. So he says it's relevant along with other things. So this is kind of like, whatever, right? Yeah, I'm like Coke. It's hard yelling at this. Okay, but look at this. Very fine distinction. And again, the way that this is being presented by his lawyer is just crazy. It doesn't make any sense, right? Next paragraph is even more funny. Yes, this guy is a huge Karl Jobst supporter. And he really doesn't like Billy Mitchell. Look what he's saying. I want to effing scream at my computer. How do you, as Karl's barista, possibly mess up this timeline that badly? These are basic, essential facts about this case. It would be like a defense counsel at a bank robbery trial remarking, well, You know, my client probably did rob that bank, but I'd rather talk about something else. What the fuck? It's probably a good thing I wasn't physically in the courtroom. During that sequence, I would have been empathetically shaking my head, whispering, "That's not true. That's not true. That's not true." And when KB, which is Karl's attorney, just accepted it and moved on, I probably would have gotten up and ran over to Karl's solicitor, grabbed his shoulder, and whispered, "What the hell? None of that is true. You gotta get in there and get him to correct that. What is he paying you for?" Granted, I don't understand what powers an Australian solicitor have to insert corrections such as these in the middle of a hearing, nor do I know what ability the barrister has to pause his arguments. People don't understand how crazy this is, guys. This is his arguments. This is his arguments, guys. Like, okay, we are reading the blog of perfectpacman.com. Shout out to Erzcat, who is a huge, well, if not the hugest Karl Jobst supporter that I've read. So, of course, this is going to be biased. And this guy is making fun of Karl's lawyer. This guy literally says, "What is he paying you for?" Like, he literally said that if he's in court, and this is what actually happened, and it did happen, he would get up, grab Karl's solicitor, grab him by the shoulders, and say, "What is he paying you for?" Like, guys, this is not, it is not, it's not, guys, it's not you don't have to be a genius to figure out how Karl lost this case. Okay, you don't have to be a genius to figure out did Karl have a good lawyer? Did they present the... Granted, and then so on. I would have happily sacrificed my ability to attend the rest of the hearing to make sure this colossal error was corrected before it went any further. However, as a distant bystander, thousands of miles away, all I could do was watch the train wreck unfold. This is a guy who wants, this is, let me show you this. Okay, this is a guy who will delete any negative comments about Karl. This is, one more thing. My regulars can have their usual fun in the comments below if they wish, and admittedly, I'm not going to be watching or moderating 24 hours a day. You can express shock and disappointment. You can say that you expected this unfortunate outcome. You can disagree with me. You can even have a reasoned position why you think the judge has ruled this way. But if you're coming here to taunt or celebrate Billy's win, you can F all the way off. Only terrible people support litigious frauds. Sure, you have the right to engage in such speech, but you can do that somewhere else. This is the guy saying this about Karl's own attorney. How in the world do you think Karl is supposed to win? When his biggest supporter is looking at his attorney, he literally is saying that if he was physically there, because again, he was there for 5 days, and then 2 days later, it was streamed. They had a break, and then they were going to stream it. So then Erzcat could watch it via live stream, which we watched it today. So when you are talking about like a dude who's so dedicated to Karl, he took the plane trip to Brisbane, flew all the way so he could witness the court live. And he is saying that had he been there, I would grab him, shake him. What is he paying you for? That is the question. What the hell? I mean, we are closing argument. We just had 7 days of timeline. Okay. Lust gained like 25K in the past 9 months. Did I really, Billy Mitchell? That's pretty good. I don't think I gained that many subscribers. We cover other stuff. We had a jail phone call. Billy knows what his fee is, so if Billy wants to comment the fees, he can. Billy, we thought it was about cheating. Like, bro, watch it. Yeah, it was never. No. Let's get something straight. Let's get something straight. We see Billy Mitchell in the chat. Billy, you had a really good lawyer. He presented the story in a way that was easy to understand, easy to agree with. You had a really, really good lawyer. Karl, in my personal opinion, and the opinion of Karl's number one fan, did not have a good lawyer. This isn't at the beginning. This is not at the beginning of trial, right? Where this guy's mad at him in the beginning because he didn't review or something. This is at the very bitter end, right? This is at the very bitter end, right? So how in the world, during your own closing, does a layperson like Urs Cat want to shake you and ask, what is, like, this is the level, this is a level of attorney that was, I mean, you look at this, Karl Solicitor Sam Barber came up here, okay. But there was another part I really want to present you, and this is why I don't think it will be appealed. I do not see this being appealed because there was something that Urs Cat said. Yeah, that Josh, that is the real Billy Mitchell in the trial. Blah 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 blah. Look, I mean, this dude did a really good job covering the case. Was it a little biased? Yes, but was it covered well? Absolutely, it was covered well. Let's see. Let's make no mistake. Yeah. Here. Okay. This is the conclusion of Urs Cat, probably the biggest fan of Karl Jobst I've seen. Let's make no mistake on this one. This failure by Karl's legal team allowed Billy's side to run with the false, unchallenged narrative that any and all instances of people blaming Billy for Apollo's blank after May 26 of 2021 are solely attributable to this one video from Karl Jobst. And that simply is not true. In the real world, those of us following the case know this proposition was preposterous, but in the limited spirit of the court, an unchallenged narrative remains unchallenged. Based on these failures, I have to conclude that Karl's legal team was too cocky and thought they could show up in court with one or two defenses before haphazardly realizing at trial they need to attempt to sneak a few more. I would say perhaps Karl was overconfident as well, but it is his lawyers who are supposed to know how to evaluate this evidence and assess their needs. If Karl Jobst does lose this case, these mistakes will be why. Now we're going to get to appeal and why I do not think appeal is possible in this case. Okay. The reason that I don't think appeal is possible in this case is that everyone who followed this case, from Urs Cat to me, to Karl, to Billy, to his lawyers, everyone thought this judge was fair. Before going to verdict, everyone thought the judge was fair. So his decision, it was a red herring. It was part of the case, but it wasn't that big of a part. It wasn't like the main part of the case, right? It wasn't. The problem here is before verdict, even with all these mistakes made by the legal team, this is what is said. Some judges consider themselves to be merely cogs in the wheel, allowed only to observe strict matters of written law. In the world of appeals and precedent and judicial oversight, this perspective can be understandable. It tends to be personally safer and more conservative approach, but that methodology allows malignant actors like Billy Mitchell to free rein to manipulate the process. But Billy knows he can lie under oath and that at least some of the lies will go unchallenged. True justice requires judges and juries to see the totality of what's going on before them. It obliges finders of fact to differentiate bad faith actors from honest individuals who make mistakes, and to recognize patterns of dishonesty and act accordingly. Now, this is why it's not going to be appealed, guys. Judge Ken Barlow strikes me as an astute adjudicator, often asking exactly the sort of clarifying questions I was hoping he would. I just hope now that this case is out of the attorney's control and that he sees the totality of what's going on here. This was a fair verdict. This was a fair verdict. So, Cat, who is probably one of Billy Mitchell's biggest haters and one of Karl Jobst's biggest supporters, his takeaway was that this judge is fair. He asked us the questions that need to be asked, and he trusts this judge. That was my assessment. No one has anything bad. Before the verdict went out, no one had anything bad to say about this judge. That's how I know it's not going to be appealed. Typically, one side will be like, oh, the judge ruled this unfair. They admitted this thing. They allowed this defense. That's not what happened in this case. Everything that Karl's lawyer wanted to do, which wasn't great, but that was his plan, he allowed Karl's lawyer to do. There wasn't anything that his lawyer wanted to do that wasn't really allowed in. When you appeal, maybe it's over a piece of evidence, right? It's a piece of evidence where the judge that you felt was important, but the judge didn't allow it in. When you appeal, you must have a reason to appeal. What reason could they possibly give when at the very end of the day, they both felt the judge was fair? Or you don't even need about Billy Mitchell is not going to appeal this. It would be insanity for him to appeal. It would be insanity. He won literally everything and more. He is not going to appeal. Bill Balls, we actually saw that in live time. So if you look at my stream, my 4-hour stream last night, we saw the original message with appeal, and then we refreshed it in live time, and the appeal disappeared. Right? Yeah, so this is I want you guys to know exactly why this is so important. This is, if a layperson is able to understand this, then this means it's not appealable. Let me read you this again. If the judge does not understand, he asks the question that the layperson wants them to ask. That's a fair judge. Maybe the judge doesn't understand. You don't want a judge out there, he had no idea, he doesn't ask no questions, he's just listening. No, he asked a lot of questions during this. He asked a lot of questions. He was fair. I do not think before this verdict comes out that Karl would say it's not fair. I do not think Cat doesn't say it's unfair. Cat says, yeah, we trust this judge. It's in here in writing. The day 7. So Cat knows more about this case than I do because he's literally in court. He wakes up every day, goes to court, and then goes back home and writes this up. He's literally the biggest Karl fan, and also honestly, as a layperson goes, the biggest expert in this. If he is saying he trusts the judge, and okay, here we go. During this, he does not say anything bad about the judge. Right? He's just saying, oh, Billy lied, and the judge believed it, and all that, but it wasn't like the judge was confused, or... At the end of the day, yes, he thought Billy would win. Oh, no, he thought Karl would win. I'm saying this judge allowed Billy's attorney to do whatever the hell he wanted. Billy's attorney just didn't do anything. I mean, look at this. You cannot make this type of stuff up, right? Like, look, I just hope now that the case is out of the attorney's control, that he, referring to Judge Kenneth Barlow, sees the totality of what is going on here. That is he strikes me as a astute adjudicator. This isn't, I get, when things are appealed, often it's because, evidence isn't let in, or evidence is let in that shouldn't be let in. This isn't one of those cases, because then the layperson would be like, oh, this is just unfair. The judge is being unfair to Karl. At no point in time does Erzcat say that the judge is unfair. He doesn't. In fact, he specifically says, he strikes me as an astute adjudicator. And he asks the questions I was hoping he would ask. Now, I hope that since no stupid attorneys are going to tank Karl's case no more, that the judge can understand what is happening. This isn't something where the judge is evil or Erzcat. If anyone would think the judge would be bribed, right, it would be Erzcat. Oh, he's bribed, right? Like, it's one of these conspiracy things, right? Like, at no point in time did anyone mention, oh, I think the Billy Mitchell bribed the judge, or the attorney bribed the judge, or at no point in time was any of this mentioned. At every single sector of the way, Karl was posted, he's posted on Twitter. He posted a video that has been deleted, right? Like here's the crazy part. Like, you guys want to know what the craziest part about this whole thing to me is? Yeah, hi Philip. I think Philip and my understanding is Philip is a big fan of Billy Mitchell. So I see some people who have been in the comments and supporting Billy Mitchell the whole way. So Billy Mitchell does have his fans, okay? So that's untrue that he doesn't have any fans. He does have fans. At the end of the day, Karl's lawyers did not present his arguments very well. Billy's Mitchell lawyers, A Squirrel, presented it incredibly well. One person came off as arrogant, egotistical, and I'm going to burn the mother effing village down if you let me win. That was Karl. Karl probably never thought he could lose until later on. And I'm going to tell you something interesting. Once it went past 90 days, I thought, oh shit, right? Yeah, so I read the whole thing. This thing is airtight. It's 118 pages. Let me show you how many cases we got. We have all these cases, case law. We have all these cases to support the judge's verdict. All these cases. And then all this information. And then people were saying, oh, we can appeal it. Why? Yeah, Karl, he did not present. But this is what I'm saying. When you have a good attorney, they actually teach you how to present yourself. They teach you to be humble. Yeah, exactly, Squirrel. They teach you to be humble. Like, when you have a good attorney, especially if you're the defense, when you have a good attorney, they do question preparation with you. They do a lot of prep with you, right? And this is the same with Casey. I mean, this doesn't matter who the criminal, not. I think what happened was the money. So Karl's attorney says this thing is going to cost $200,000. Karl is by the time that he's talking to Camelot, he's already paid $400,000. And his attorneys come to Karl and say, I want $200,000 more. Karl does not want to pay $200,000 more. He may have paid less than that. And because of that, I think the attorneys skipped training. When I was being sued, I had to do a lot of training. I met my attorney at the cafe, and we went over like facial expressions, eye contact, and other things of that nature. When I had to be coached, you have to be coached. It's not something bad. Every attorney who's serious about their job and being paid to do it is going to tell you, you have to be coached. Right? You can't act like an arrogant prick in court, because that's what, nobody likes that. They don't know. First impressions and last impressions matter. This judge is not going to see you every day. He doesn't watch your YouTube channel every day. He is trying. Yes, Squirrel has a very logical take. Always be humble, right? Always be humble. Judges hate arrogance. This, like, if you are his attorney, if you are, yes, yeah, the case got resolved right before Switch 2 reveal. If you are his attorney, you have to prep him, because you know who the hell you're dealing with. You're dealing with a guy who went to Camelot's live stream saying, I'm going to set everybody on fire. I'm a sore loser. You better hope I don't win. You know, like, I mean, this is who we're dealing with right now. Let me see if I can get on Twitter. There is court etiquette. Billy Mitchell was trained very well. He behaved. So this is in 2024. This is in 2024. Okay? We're not talking about 2021, 2022. We're talking about during when the case is getting hot. They've done interrogatories. They're doing depositions probably around this time. Look at what the person says to him. I do not truly believe the settlement was a loss for Billy, but I understand people are upset and he didn't get his ass kicking he deserves. I'm as upset as anyone about that. Let's hope I can be the one that does it right, sticks it to the end, and finally puts it in his place. Stay humble, okay? This is one of his fans. Stay humble. I am sorry, but I will be an extremely sore loser. Like, Squirrel, what you're saying, I mean, it matches up word for word. You could be this Mama Mope guy, right? Or woman, right? You could be this. Look at this interaction. You literally have a person saying, stay humble, okay? This person is trying to help. I bet you this person is like a huge fan of Karl Jobst. Stay humble. I am sorry, but I will be an extremely sore winner. Hee hee, okay. What the hell? I mean, guys, what? Did you want me to summarize this case again? You know, I mean, guys, am I going insane here? Like, doesn't this actually describe the exact trial? Like, doesn't this describe Karl's attitude towards this trial? You got Billy Mitchell, and I think he's humble. I think he's a humble dude. He's sitting patiently. He's not, you know, he's doing what he's got to do. Then you got Karl here. I mean, you got literally one of his subs saying, please stay humble, Karl. And he's like, I am sorry. Yeah, Squirrel, you would make a good litigation attorney. But like, yeah, this is so crazy. It's so arrogant. Like, stay humble. I'm sorry. Karl at this point has been in a lawsuit since 2021. I don't think Mama Mope is like, I don't think this is like a hater. I think this is one of his fans. I think this is one of his fans trying to tell Karl to, stay humble and keep, the road ahead of you and all these really good sayings, right? And then look at Karl's response. His attorneys cannot allow. If Karl had good attorneys, they would not allow this. Yes, so again, we can get to this. His lawyers did not even cross-examine Billy's witnesses well. It is astounding the amount of failures. So number one, you have a law firm which is being underpaid. So from the law firm's perspective, he is being underpaid. They're being underpaid. They want $200,000. They're not getting $200,000. Okay? So from the law firm's perspective, we're not being paid as much as we would like to be paid. So we're not going to work as hard as we want to work. And then you got Karl, who's so arrogant. And he's coming off. I mean, this is how he comes off in court. They're not cross-examining Billy's witnesses. They are not doing basic things you would do in court because they believe they will win. They believe they will win. How do I know they believe they will win? Even after all these really crazy shit has happened, where literally Erzcat, a huge fan of Karl, wants to get up to the lawyer and shake him. Shake him. Shake him. He still believes they can win. Right? You gotta be humble. Yes, exactly, Score. You gotta be humble. You have to show that, hey, I'm taking this seriously. I don't know if I'm gonna win or not. I hope I win. But for God's sakes, man, stay humble, okay? You say that they would have been less good once Karl negotiated price down, but shouldn't they have done $400K of work? Okay, now we get to conspiracy. Now we get to the crazy part. I know you guys, there's 180 of you guys here. Now we get to the effing crazy part about this. Did Karl run up his legal bills because he thought he was 100% going to win and to punish Billy Mitchell, since Billy would need to pay if Karl wins? Okay, let me know in the chat what you guys think about this. So we know Karl's attorneys are incredibly expensive. They're more expensive than Billy's attorney. How do we know this? We actually have documents showing it. Was Karl's plan to run up the bill on Billy Mitchell because he thought, pick the most expensive attorneys, run up the bill like there ain't no tomorrow? There's actually, so here we have this. You destroyed a VOD, something like that. The statement is going to end well. Let's see.
Yes. Thank you so much for what...
I mean, we literally have an animation of Billy beating up Karl. Karl beating up Billy. Billy is framing, he framed himself as a humble person. Right? His attorneys thought this was a good idea. Okay, his attorneys thought this was a good idea for him to post. Okay, we're going to see the post. His attorneys thought it was a good idea to post this, where it shows that Billy Mitchell always settles. That's what it shows me. His attorneys allowed Karl to post this. Obviously, that's Billy Mitchell. Obviously, that's Karl Jobst. Would you say that was a very humble post? Right? Like what the hell are we even talking about here? Like, he's literally beating Billy Mitchell up. In a makeshift simulation. Like, blah blah blah. Okay, so Oh, community. I don't know if there's is there a community note here or no? Or is this fake? Billy Mitchell has gone insane, and I need your help making this video look. Let's click on this video and see what the comments say.
I'm not.
Okay. Let's sort by new. What a fraud. You are just as bad, if not worse, than the completionist. Oh, shit. I completely forgot about this dude. I am completely forgot about the completionist. Holy shit, man. At least the completionist still donate his money in the end. Wow. We got to cover this baby. We got to cover our good friend Gerard, because he's probably licking his chops right now. Mutahar, by the way, who also wants to sue some other YouTuber. Oh, there was a note earlier. Okay, thank you. This video titled and created in order to raise money for his legal defense, and there's zero mention of Apollo, anything even insinuating the lawsuit could be anything other than calling Billy Mitchell a cheater. There is no denying the fact that this is definitely misleading your audience. The irony is, had you been transparent about the suit and gave a solid apology about your false accusations you made, you would have had a better chance at winning, or at least not get an example of body. So he not only lost, he was made an example of by the judge. So let me explain the difference. When you lose, right? Okay, money you lost. There's something that you win. There's some type of split the baby, right? Oh, most cases you can argue you won something. The judge did not give 1 millimeter of victory to Karl. This was 100% a win for Billy Mitchell. There's no hiding this. Literally everything, including Billy Mitchell's legal fees, if Billy Mitchell chooses to be, will be paid by Karl Jobst. Yes, Squirrel, exactly right. He showed zero understanding of that he could lose. In Karl's mind, he could not lose. That's not how these cases are tried. Like I said, there's always a chance that your lawyer messes up. There's always a chance. I don't like Billy, but Karl messed up. Took a lot of money for this lawsuit from people that barely, if at all, knew what it was about. Probably should have known he was going to lose. Bro messed up. Oh, how the turns have tabled. Okay. Anyone else here before Karl realizes how bad these comments make him look and deletes this? Did you know about the Apollo aspect of the case at this time and point? Answer, yes, he did. This was posted 2 years ago. The case was in 2021. Yes, the Apollo Legends aspect of the case was there from the very beginning. From the very beginning. Okay? So when Karl Jobst is posting these videos about Billy Mitchell, he knows that at least half the case, and eventually the whole case, depending on the timeline, is about Apollo Legends. The reason he won't mention Apollo Legend is it's very bad. It's like, you can't mention it. We're going to get demonetized. We got demonetized as soon as that judge mentioned the blankicide. Then we didn't. YouTube cut off the ads, and there was no more ads left for us. Or whatever ads they were running, we ain't getting no money from. Yes, at all times when Karl's fundraising money, in the beginning, it might be Apollo Legend 50% and cheating 50%, right? Eventually, it was Apollo Legend 100%, cheating 1%, or 99-100, right? The completionist is a whole nother can of worms, right? Because obviously his channel is kind of dead. Let's not sugarcoat it. The completionist channel is dead. It died. He had 20 people on his company. Maybe we got to relook at what happens to him. The number one video is about the completionist is in huge trouble. Look, the last time he posted was 7 months ago. So, the Apollo Legend stuff is we cannot put it on YouTube. It involves bullying, harassment. It involves a lot of, you cannot tell the Apollo Legend story on YouTube in today's atmosphere. They would probably shut down your account. I wish I could tell you more about it, but what I'm going to tell you is it's a young man. He actually met Billy Mitchell, and I guess he was maybe a fan, he went to the Florida Cafe to meet Billy Mitchell. Billy Mitchell didn't know it was him at the time, and then he made videos about Billy Mitchell, and Apollo committed blank, which we cannot say here, and when he did it, he actually didn't blame Billy Mitchell, even though he just settled a lawsuit with Billy Mitchell, which means that Billy Mitchell probably talked to him, thought he was okay. So here's the crazy part. I mean, maybe we have to dig deep. I don't want to do it, but I guess we have to do it. We have to go into Apollo Legend. Just without understanding the story of Apollo Legend, we cannot understand. We cannot understand what this case is about. Okay? This is Dark Viper AU. He's another, Australian YouTuber. He was specifically mentioned by Apollo Legend before he passed. So, if Apollo Legend, so he made speedrunning website. He did speedrunners too as well. He made a video that wasn't. Here's Easy Escape. Easy Escape was here last night. Big fan of Easy Escape, but he was. This is stuff that you guys don't know because Apollo Legend isn't with us today. But from my research of what happened to Apollo Legend, there's a really good Reddit thread about it. And the final update on Apollo Legend. Police made entry into his house. It is now confirmed he is now confirmed he is deceased. No cause of death or anything more than that was provided, as they need to do everything right by his family, but I can confirm this as much. So on. Man, that's awful. I have a lot of issues with him. There's a blank epidemic. He tried to start way too much drama for his mental state. Context here and here, sort of. Not fair at all to call this context when Apollo literally left a blank note in video form. I'm not going to link it, but I found it pretty quickly on Twitter. So this is what we're talking about. TLDR, Apollo had chronic physical and mental health conditions that he said would eventually hospitalize him. He hates hospitals and would prefer to go out with some dignity. He said this was inevitable and had nothing to do with anything online related. Apparently, the video description of the YouTube video before it was removed did have a part thanking Dark Viper and Easy Escape for pushing him to the decision. So this context isn't 100% invalid, but his video itself does not mention them at all, nor Billy Mitchell anywhere. Okay? So this is 4 years ago. This is 4 years ago. If Apollo Legend, right before the blank aside, wanted to blame Billy Mitchell, he could have. We know he could have because he blamed 2 other people. Here and here. Like, the video has been taken down, but it literally wasn't. So let's take a look at his video.
Hello, everyone.
This is a Dark Viper, a big YouTuber, as big as Karl, bigger than Karl. Dark Viper, F you for pretending you knew him at all to any level of criticism, and you tagged back that he thanked Keemstar Like, holy F, I hate Keem, but at least he was a human being that was there for him. You should have left this video gone. At the end of the day, oh yeah, this dude is definitely waiting. This dude is definitely in the wings. This homie right here is thinking, holy, I covered him and I had some empathy towards him. He lost his team of 20 members. He started making videos on his own. All he got was basically harassment. He stopped making a video 7 months ago. Could we see this guy come back into the fold? A lot of people on Reddit are suggesting that something could happen with this. I don't know. We'll see. We'll wait and see. Nope. No mention of Apollo Legend here. Maker RIP. RIP. At least another 100,000. Oh, you sweet child. We are all with you. Justice will be served soon. Silly Bitchel will get what's coming to him. Let's take a look at the GoFundMe. So, let's read the GoFundMe. Hello, you absolute legends. My name is Karl Jobst, and I'm a YouTuber who often reports on video game cheaters. Last year, Billy Mitchell, star of the King of Kong and proven video game cheater, sued me for defamation. Okay, I think I understand why people are mad. So he mentions cheating twice. Alright? He mentions cheating twice. And he mentions defamation once. The average layperson is going to read this sentence and think this is going to be about cheating. Right? I'm a YouTuber who often reports on video game cheaters. Last year, Billy Mitchell, star of the King of Kong and proving video game cheater, sued me for defamation, claiming damages of $450,000. In the past year alone, this lawsuit has cost almost $200,000 to defend and will cost another $100,000 before over. Little did Karl know that his lawyers would just absolutely rail him. Yeah, at this point in time, when Karl is raising money, he does not realize that his lawyers have a different type of arrangement in mind, right? Like, at this point in time, he's paid $200,000 or almost $200,000, and he thinks all they need is another $100,000. The reality of it was he paid $200,000, paid another $200,000, and then they asked for another $200,000. So at this point in time, the situation is crazy, but has since got much worse as Billy Mitchell has sent me another defamation lawsuit for $450,000. So that would mean I would need to defend 2 lawsuits at the same time, both being extremely expensive. But then it gets even worse because Billy is threatening me with even more lawsuits. These lawsuits are unhinged, and it's highly likely Billy will ultimately lose. But until we go to trial, it requires a lot of money to deal with. I would appreciate any help you are able to provide, as this affects not only me, but my family as well. Okay, so this is the word I want to talk about. You cannot be a white knight slaying a dragon if you have a family. Let me understand. Like here's something I can tell you. In most superhero movies, the main superhero doesn't have a family. It doesn't have a kid. It doesn't have this, right? People think bankruptcy is good. It is not good. You will never have a house. You will never have a mortgage. You will never get a car loan. Your credit is effed. Your credit is completely effed. Good luck getting anything more than $10,000 the rest of your life. Good luck, getting a mortgage, buying a new home. Good luck getting a new car. Good luck buying a mother effing lawnmower when you declare bankruptcy. Obviously, it's bad enough to attack me when I've done nothing wrong, but to injure them as well as take things to another level. So again, this is exactly what I've been saying. This is exactly what I've been saying, is like, I hope Billy has mercy on Karl's family. That was my first reaction to Michael. Karl's family, his wife has no ill feelings towards Billy Mitchell. Right? His kid, how can his young son have ill feelings towards Billy Mitchell? He's like a young kid. He doesn't even know. Right? Like, war. When you go slay a dragon, you die, and your lance breaks, and you have a family at home, fuck the dragon, man. Your family's more important than slaying the, thank you, extra large Garfield, slaying the mother effing dragon. Seamoose, that is not true. So, that is not true. Bankruptcy falls 7 to 10 years? No. That is not true. Hey, mercenary. Bankruptcy, I don't know. Again, maybe Australia, your laws are different. So, I don't know. But bankruptcy in the U.S., not 7-10 years, buddy. Keep saying that. I love these, like, Lamborghinis, Rolex, Richard Mille. You know, I remember the TikTok. Let me talk about this. I remember the TikTokers. They were like, buy a watch, buy a $500,000 Richard Mille, and then declare bankruptcy. And you get to keep the Richard Mille. I love the fact that people think bankruptcy is this easy. That you just bankrupt yourself. You just buy, you drive your Lamborghinis, you got Richard Milles on, like, both hands, right? Like, I'm watching this TikTok video about this kid. He's probably like 18 years old. And he's like, you know what we gotta do? We gotta declare bankruptcy. We're gonna all buy Lamborghinis and we gotta keep all this shit. That is not how bankruptcy works for obvious reasons, okay? This dude's been watching too much TikTok. Bankruptcy is not a solution, my friends, to this problem. Okay? Because they're going to take his house. They are going to... the business. Oh, you just buy a G-Wagon, and because they weigh so much, you can just call it tax deductible. Like, it doesn't make sense. If bankruptcy was this easy, we'd all be bankrupt right now. We'd all be buying Richard Milles. I got like 4 Richard Milles on my hands. And no, it's not how it works. You will be hounded by the IRS your entire life. You are on a short list. No, Simo. You are on our short list to be audited every single mother effing year by the IRS. You make one mistake, you back to jail, buddy. You don't think that if you declared bankruptcy, you're going to be tracked your entire life? Like, dude. Like, I don't know what these TikTokers are teaching these people. But bankruptcy is not a solution, because let me tell you what's going to happen. They're going to take his revenue, right? They're going to take his revenue on his YouTube channel. All revenues on YouTube channel now belong to Billy Mitchell. They're going to take his home. They're going to take everything in his home. They're going to take his car, if he has a car. And from here on out, there are going to be creditors. Right? They're going to be creditors, including Billy Mitchell, but Billy Mitchell will likely sell. He will literally sell the thing to loan sharks. And they're going to call the You think student loans are bad? Which are not bankruptable, by the way. You think student loans are bad when the mother effing Chase calls you nonstop, when they come to your door, knock at your work, where's my money? Where's my money? You think you can last 7 to 10 years with people knocking on Karl's kid's door? Right? They're going to daycare. These are loan sharks. When Billy Mitchell is not going to personally collect. Okay, you don't need to personally collect. Billy Mitchell is going to sell it for maybe 50 cents on the dollar. But the people who he sells it to, a collecting agency, what type of people work at those places? They're going to knock on your kid's door. They're going to knock on your door at the middle of the night. Where is my money? Where is my money? When bankruptcy is messing with people's money, people think bankruptcy has no victims, right? Bankruptcy has victors, vendors. I had a client, they declared bankruptcy. They owe me $17,000. I never got that $17,000, but I would never work that client. And I know I sent that to credit. I got 10 cents in the dollar, and I know I hate debt collectors too. But you sell your debt to a debt collector because you yourself don't want to collect the debt, right? Yeah, exactly. And you can be sued. Like, people don't get, people are like, so bankruptcy it's like the Michael Scott, I declare bankruptcy. Even Michael Scott is smart enough to know not to declare bankruptcy when Oscar told him not to do it. Even Michael Scott, who has like core abs and Marine Corps, and all, he spent like $20,000 on like ab products. Even in a fictional world of The Office, Michael Scott actually does not declare bankruptcy because it would destroy him. And yet you got people saying bankruptcy is good. Buy the Richard Milles, drive the Lamborghini, and then Karl's okay. Bankruptcy will save him. No, it's not going to save him. It will take everything from him. And then good luck, in the next 7 to 10 years, right? I mean, it's, And the government is definitely going to track you, man. You know who is the most scary? The IRS. The IRS, man. Like they're like, holy shit, you declared bankruptcy. I bet you they put all the people who declare bankruptcy or don't pay taxes on like a audit list where they audit you like every month. Like if you're a business and you declare bankruptcy and you don't pay your taxes and then you start a new business, you name it something differently, I'm positive they put you on that list. Yeah, the PPP loans, some of them are doing good, some of them are not doing good. I never took no PPP loan, so I'm doing fine. I forgot to pay a $100 phone bill when I left Sprint years ago. I wasn't informed. And it went to collections. Yeah. No, people think, okay, he's just going to declare bankruptcy on $1 million and nothing's going to happen. Mother effort, for $100, like Scroll says, they're going to send like, oh, this is over $100. They're going to send like mafia-esque people to your home. If it's Gundam, I recall it's a Gundam. I don't know what a Gundam is. I'm sure a YouTuber named DSP Games filed bankruptcy and it had no effect. Maybe if he lives like a very like conservative lifestyle, he doesn't want a credit card or something like that. Yeah, Blockbuster fees go straight to collection, right? So anyway, now let's continue on, right? Let's continue to read this. Naturally, the more money I am able to raise, the better my defense will be. That's interesting to say. That is interesting to say. That's just the way it works. If and when I defeat Billy Mitchell in court, he will likely have to pay back. Okay, here we go. If and when I defeat Mitchell in court, he will likely have to pay back a lot of the cost that I incurred. I will use that money to host a grand gaming tournament in his honor. Okay? So, did Karl run up his legal bills because he thought he was 100% going to win and to punish Billy Mitchell since Billy would need to pay if Karl wins? Let me know in the comment, because I think we know, and let me watch some of my videos so I can drink some stuff. We actually know how much Billy Mitchell's lawyer costs, and we know he costs half or significantly less than, we know he costs less. We know exactly. Yeah, like people think collections is like nice people and they send you a letter in the mail. No, man. These mofos show up at your work. They show up at your work. I mean, I don't know. Like, I mean, has anyone actually experienced bankruptcy? Like, no, I'm asking you guys, not what you guys have heard on TikTok. Has anyone in the comment section, let me know, actually experienced bankruptcy and had a good experience with it? Let me know, because I would be shocked if that was indeed the case. blah, 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 blah. Karl Jobst responds on settlement. Okay, so this is an interesting video. We'll watch this. So I do thank Karl Jobst for jumping on the comment section and correcting two misconceptions I had. It was my understanding that Karl Jobst never wanted to settle with Billy Mitchell from all the things I've read. And Billy Mitchell didn't want to settle with Karl Jobst because of Karl Jobst' stance of not settling, right? It's hard to, you need two parties to settle. Karl jumped in and he said that there was actually a settlement offer that he made. And this is important for a few different reasons. Primarily being that when a settlement offer is made, my understanding of Australian law, and this is what Karl was saying, you have to, Billy has to win at least that amount of money. Otherwise, it kind of makes sense. It's a very interesting legal problem that typically does not exist in the U.S. because in the U.S., both parties pay their own lawyers. Here, you have one party, the plaintiff, potentially paying the defendant's lawyer. And the questions I had is, how can you control the defendant from just the cost ballooning out of control? I don't... Okay. So Karl actually responded to one of my videos, and my understanding was Karl had actually never offered to settle. Karl said this: given that you are hell-bent on making so many videos, I think I will set the record straight. In May 2022, I made a settlement offer. Billy declined. I did my part to avoid this. During the conversation, when Billy's attorney was talking to the judge, the offer was $3,000. $3,000, guys. $3,000. Do you think that was a fair offer? So let me ask you another question. Was the settlement offer of $3,000, this was why I thought that he would win. I thought the settlement offer was $20,000, $50,000. When I was doing the math, but according to Billy Mitchell's own attorney, it was $3,000. That was the offer. It's really crazy, no? That, like, he did his part to avoid this. The clips of me talking about not settling came years later when I've already sunk hundreds of thousands into a defense. Billy has to win, and win a lot more than $1 for the court to award him costs. The damages would need to be greater than my settlement offer. Okay, so this is coming straight from Karl Jobst, responding to a video I made. Obviously, then I would get attacked by the Jobsties, right? At that time, I responded back. You can read my response. I thought he was like, that the settlement offer had been like $50,000, $100,000, because I think at that time, there was another guy paying for it, right? But it was, according to Billy's attorney, it was only $3,000. That is very, very interesting, right? Sorry, I am not upset. The settlement offer was never made public. I won't say the amount at the moment. Originally, when I made the offer, I had spent nothing because Knox was paying. So it was a very early offer of $3,000, but it's still $3,000, right? I mean, it doesn't. When he told me this, I had speculated it was somewhere between $25,000, $50,000, even up to some amount of money over $3,000, of course. So this is also a very interesting thing. Yeah, no, it wasn't Billy's offer. It was Billy's attorney. It was Billy's attorney saying that was what Karl Jobst offered to Billy. Okay? That Knots thing is also very crazy, when Knots just kind of, this happened many, many, many years later. I didn't know Billy Mitchell fans existed until I saw this thread. Sad. Um, Okay, so let me take a break. Let's watch another video. So that was a good video. These are my final odds, and let's see if what I said was right. That was 5 months ago. My final odds. I didn't make any more odds here because they were just verdicts. I did say the longer it took. Lawyer and Karl, Jobst, Billy Mitchell, Paul Legend, settlement shame, epic fight for $1 of damages, which I thought it was, but it's actually $3,000, right? Lawyer and Billy, who wins, who loses, 90 days and no verdict, who's paying the lawyers. Yeah, I always had a problem with the lawyers. I always had a problem with the lawyers, of his lawyers. I did not think his lawyers, from day 2, I did not think his lawyers did a good job, at all. Notch not paying the law firm. So when I first investigated, I didn't even know who Notch was. He invented Minecraft, apparently. And he was footing the bill for the law firm until, so there's a lot of really weird stuff happening on the legal background. I kind of would love to see, what that looked like. Like, if you talk to Notch, why did he not want to pay anymore, right? Is there, a reason, right? A loser may appeal. I don't think the loser's going to appeal in this case because it's pretty clear and dry, right? I'm trying to find a video where who's paying for Karl's lawyers. Multiple lawsuits. Karl Job, not what you think it is. I'm trying to find barrister. Yeah, here we go. Okay, I found it. Hey guys, today we're going to talk about a good lawyer with a bad fact set versus a bad lawyer with a good fact set. So I think that's what we have here. Now, many of you will say, how do you know Billy Mitchell's attorney is better than Karl Jobst's attorney? Well, and obviously Karl Jobst's attorney charges more than what Billy Mitchell's attorney. There's a very interesting system of solicitors and barristers. I'm not going to deep dive into that, but that's interesting. But Billy Mitchell's attorney essentially is a QC. And he is a QC with a ton of legal cases to his name, including legal cases for defamation. This is very... Okay, so this shout out to Cytopia. He's in the chat. We actually worked out... Please post your source about it being more than one lawsuit. You can't... I don't know what you're talking about. I have no idea what you're talking about, and I do not care. Okay, so this is how much Billy's lawyer cost, right? This is what Billy's lawyer cost. Okay, cool. Bye-bye. I don't take ad hominem very well because I don't need to because it's my channel. So, if you keep attacking me over and over again, I really don't know, what live streamer would allow this, to be honest with you. I'm just going to go on a little tangent. I don't get it. If you keep attacking me, ad hominem attacks, you're not attacking my arguments. I don't even know what your argument is. And you keep attacking and attacking and attacking. Why would I let you continue to talk? Right? I don't understand. People are oh, freedom of speech. Freedom of speech on my channel means we're trying to make arguments. I'm trying to show you information. I'm trying to be as neutral as I can. If all you do is attack me, why would I allow this? Who would allow this? I got over 200 people here. If you think your opinions are really important, I will happily subscribe to you. I would happily go on your channel, see a picture of your face, your resume, your LinkedIn, everything, right? You're not going to. You're never going to make a video. So I do not understand this idea that you would allow someone to... So I'm just going to say this. I don't understand the idea you would allow someone to attack you relentlessly time and time again. I'm not even paying attention to this guy's chat. That's crazy. Well, yeah, I'm a team. I have an employee. We work on the YouTube channel together. Why shouldn't we be they-them, right? Do you realize, I have a team? And sometimes they help me edit the videos. They help me with the shorts, which are AI tech. Right? If they're upset that I'm using the pronouns they, them, Go F yourself, man. Go F yourself. You know, there's a team of people working on my channel, on my social media. So if you're attacking me for they, them, and that's all you got, what the hell does this have to do with this case and my perspective of this case? No. It had nothing to do with it. Right? Okay. Back to what I'm saying here. So, initial estimates for Billy for pre-work and 2 days of trial were $99,000. 25% discount applied afterwards. This includes 2 days of Queen's counsel, which is expensive. Initial estimates for pre-work, for Karl pre-work, 1 day of trial were $210,000. 50% discount applied afterwards. That means that at this point in time, so again, this is early 2022. So again, cost change, people charge more money, people charge less money, right? That Billy Mitchell's attorney was half the price of Karl Jobst's attorney. So, assuming this continued to be true, we know how much Karl paid. Karl paid more than $400,000, but less than $600,000. Right? I suspect they probably split the baby and it was $500,000. We kind of can figure out, based on this math here, how much Billy's lawyer cost. And it would mathematically be half. It would be half of what Karl's lawyer cost. Now, again, this is kind of insane. That's why that's why I would even bring this up, is what is the purpose? Okay, let me font size it. What's the purpose of hiring an expensive law firm that cannot win? That was doing a poor job. So we know, we know from the initial 2022 reporting, when they were discussing whether or not, you know, how much these lawyers cost. We actually have an idea of how much the lawyer costs, right? Hey, Lush, remember me? I was the one who said he himself was a cheater. He accused an army of people for cheating, and he had no choice. I don't know, Adam, I don't know who you're referring to. Is that Karl, Billy? Yeah, exactly, Rusty. Billy's lawyer... Okay, we'll watch this video together, okay? We'll watch this video together. Different from how Michael DeWard is described in his own. You have one individual who actually is listing the cases that he was the active member in, he was the lawyer in, and then you have another one naming generic things, but there's no cases attached to it. So my perspective on this is that Billy hired a very good attorney. Now, does Billy have experience hiring attorneys? Yes, he probably does. Let's give him the benefit of the doubt. Billy does have a lot of, he's hired attorneys in the past. Maybe Karl, this is his first attorney he's hiring, so he went with the best pitch, right? The other really surprising thing is, according to the judge, so again, these are all legal public documents. You can find it, I can find it, it is readily available. The numbers for Billy's attorney was only around 100,000, while the number for Karl's attorney was 200,000 at the time. And the judge found that on multiple occasions, on 2 different occasions, the estimates of Karl's attorney was excessive. Okay, now we get to it. So when the judge is looking at the prices, so Billy's attorney is 100,000. Karl's attorney is over 200,000. The judge actually makes them line item where the money is coming, how they're spending money, right? And the judge ruled that Karl's team was charging him excessively. Okay, so this is a ruling. This is a piece of document by the court that I could pull up right now for you to see, where the judge is literally telling Karl, you are paying too much money for your team. What is going on here? What? Okay, we'll go. Let's go on. Now, if you know anything about attorneys, they don't pocket watch. What do I mean by pocket watch? I mean, they don't complain about how much money, because at one point in time, they are attorneys, and maybe they have a son or daughter who is a attorney. You don't say, hey, Johnny Cochran, you're charging too much money. That's not something that happens in the American system. Now, again, in the American system, typically you pay your own legal fees. Here, there's a caveat. Yeah, shout out to Billy. You got a deal on your lawyer, Billy. And this Billy can confirm this. This stuff is all public. In 2022, both of them had to come to a judge and explain how much money their lawyers cost, because they were trying to make Billy put more money into the deposit. The judge literally looked at Karl's lawyers and said, what the hell is this shit? Multiple times. Yeah, and that if Karl wins, then his legal fees are paid by Billy. And that's why maybe the judge is more honest. They're doing more studies. He's being more aggressive towards Karl's attorney as to why he is costing that much, or his solicitor plus his barrister combination, some type of combination. And in Australia, I had no idea this was the case. There is something called Queen's Counsel, which is now King's Counsel, because it is based on the UK, of all places, right? Their tradition. And Queen Elizabeth passed away, therefore it is King Charles, so it is King's Counsel. And this, to my knowledge, is the best of the best. This is the highest level of the legal profession that each barrister can reach, and is bestowed upon professionals who have extensive experience, learning, seniority, and standing with the profession, and who do, over the course of their careers, make a significant contribution to mentoring younger. So this guy is the shit, right? Billy Mitchell's attorney is literally the shit when it comes to Australia law. And I look at the cases, and he basically wins a lot of them. And he lists the cases that he's won, or lost even. He'll even list that. And it is a lot of cases, including specific cases to defamation. So you have, I think Michael's a younger lawyer. You got one lawyer, he's listing like 11 different areas with no cases in each area on his profile. And you got another lawyer listing areas, and each area has plenty of cases that you can look up and you can see how he did, what he said. And I did. I looked at his defamation cases, the ones that I could find online. That being said, I found one of them online, and it was very, very, very good. So when you have a attorney that is... Okay, you guys want Karl to appeal this. Guess what? To be Queen's Counsel, you must have experience in arguing cases on appeal. As long as Billy Mitchell rides and dies, Billy, do not let your lawyer go. Billy Mitchell's lawyer isn't just good at trial. He must be good at appeal. Do you understand why Karl was not going to appeal this? So Billy Mitchell's lawyer was so much better than Karl's lawyer, even according to Erzcat. Even according to Erzcat, there was a huge difference in like how they were acting, behaving, and how they regulate themselves. This dude, Billy's lawyer, isn't just good at trial. He's really good at appeal. He's really, really good at appeal. He specifically, to be this Queen's Counsel, you gotta appeal. It would be a slaughter, right? It would be a slaughter if, in my personal opinion, again, we have to see the case, but from just the lawyer standpoint. So I'm not talking about the case or the facts or anything. I'm just talking about the lawyer standpoint. Billy's lawyer specializes in appeal. Is high-powered and is smart, and they are respected by the court. They're going to get the benefit of the doubt. So one battle, which is already decided, was Karl's attorneys wanted $50,000 more as a deposit from Billy Mitchell. So this is straight up asking for money, right? A battle for money. What else could be more simple? Okay, well, $50,000, right? And
So Billy's, to give you a little bit of background, Billy already paid $50,000. They want another $50,000 from Billy. They only get $15,000 out of the $50,000 asked because their fees were deemed excessive on 2 occasions.
Yeah. Okay. So we actually know how much the reason we know how much who paid what at this particular time was because Karl's attorneys charged him so much money they had to go back to the judge and say we need more money in deposit because we need to charge even more money. And the judge looked at it, so they asked for $50,000 more in deposit. $50,000 more to be put into deposit, okay? The judge looked at this and said, you guys are insane. What the fuck are you charging Karl all this money? I'm gonna roll $15,000. So out of the $50,000 Karl's attorneys wanted, they got $15,000. And I'm gonna tell you exactly why they got $15,000.
Occasions, and on one occasion they literally said, what the hell's happening here? Like, no, we're not going to go with this. We'll give you 1 day, not 2 days. When we talk about, again, this whole idea of pocket watching, and lawyers do not judge other lawyers when it comes to money. No lawyer I've ever known has said another lawyer is too expensive, even if in their head they think this is the case. And I've never seen a judge say this, where the fees they're charging are excessive because, you know, that's weird. That's so the judge at one time was a lawyer for probably a very nice law firm, charging whatever they could get. So just like athletes typically on the same team don't talk about their teammates' money, so you might be a friend, you might have a coworker who got a huge raise, and you think it's not cool that they got that raise and you didn't. But at the end of the day, you're not going to talk about this money because you too want that raise, like, right? Now you might be like, oh, the judge could go straight back into law, right? So, like, would that judge want, you know, when he's a lawyer again, would they want the amount of money they're charging for their expertise and what they believe they're worth? Would he want that, or he or she want that challenge? Absolutely not. So, in my opinion, there is no doubt that Billy has a better lawyer. If you doubt that, Queen's counsel. I didn't know that thing existed, but I guess that is a very good way. Billy's not paying for a cheap lawyer here. He's paying for the best of the best. He's paying for the cream la cream, right? He's paying for the lawyer that gives him the best chance to win, regardless of money. And in reality, it is a very intriguing and very interesting battle, because I think Karl, if they had equal lawyers, he would just everyone is expecting Karl to slam dunk this thing. Everyone and their grandmother. But he didn't. And, you know, I still think he has an 80% chance of winning, but that's down from the 95. And the only reason I gave him 95 and not 100 is because there's always a 5% chance of something weird happening in court. At least a 5% chance. So this is bizarre, and one of the other bizarre reason. And
now I'm getting excited. If you guys don't believe anything I say, these are the court documents I'm showing. Every time I've made a video, I backed it up with court documents. Almost every video has some type of court documents that I'm talking about. When the judge said, holy shit, Karl, you're paying too much money, I have that proof. The proof is right here. Right? The proof is right here.
I knew that this lawyer was better. I didn't know about Queen's counsel. I didn't know any about this. It doesn't make sense to me why they have this stuff, right? But I don't know. I did not know about any of this, but I knew that his lawyer was better. I knew that Billy's lawyer was better. Karl's lawyer couldn't even, in his closing argument, the argument that you are making, he didn't even have the timeline right. I know you guys say, oh, well, he corrected it later. That's still a bad look, my friends. And when you have a jury or a judge, and especially a judge, which is one individual, then it's about credibility. It's about credibility, right? So if an attorney tells a judge something and it's not true, and the judge continues to ask what's going on, and it's The judge is not going to like that because the judge is not going to be reliant on an attorney that cannot provide facts. As opposed to a Queen's counsel, the way that Billy Mitchell's lawyer has done, I mean, he did a good, I knew from, you watch my vlogs, not my vlogs, you watch my content on this thing. I said,
okay, I'm going to show you why this lawyer is not, they're talking about Karl's lawyer. The judge is specifically talking about Karl's lawyer here. Even accepting the defendant's apparent surprise to positively prove the allegations he alleged in the amended defense, I am unable. Okay, so here, the mediation has been conducted. Is it here? Oh, okay. Here we go. It seems to me that defendant's solicitor's approach starts with the defendant's actual and anticipated solicitor and own client cost, which is 50% discount. Okay, the mediation has been conducted, but again, I am unable to discern how the aggregated costs are said to increase to $25,000, which also appears excessive. This is the judge telling Karl directly that your law firm is charging you too much money. This mediation should not cost $25,000 more. Even after accepting defendant's apparent surprise to positively prove the allegations he alleged in the amended defense, I am unable to discern any justification for the increase of $2,500 for plaintiff's review. The mother effing lawyers charge him $2,500 to review like an email or something. An instruction for reply. It is also unclear to me how the contest warrants any increase in witness summaries if required at all, and the designation of 2 additional days of preparation for trial. Neither party has elected a jury trial, and there's no requirement for the exchange of witness summaries before trial. Even if required, I think that the preparation of witness summaries would be amply covered by the trial preparation generally, or at least such any extra cost burden can be revisited if a requirement for the exchange of witness summaries eventuates. So this law firm, do you guys know what was happening here? Do you understand what the judge is saying about this law firm? He does not understand why this law firm needs so much money. Why, in any event, I do not accept that the asserted need for 2 additional days of trial preparation or trial is made out. I will allow 1 extra day. Here.
Go, holy shit.
Here. I do not accept any prospective entitlement for cost of preparation of amended defense. The presumption imposes of S386 of Uniform Civil Procedure Rules burdens the defendant with any cost thrown away by his successive pleading amendments. Further, it seems to me that the cost of $25,000 attributed to drafting the defense in the first place is excessive. Multiple times, this judge, the same judge that is going to decide this mother effing case, is telling Karl excessive. Again, the mediation has been conducted, but again, I am unable to discern how the aggregated costs are said to increase $25,000, which appears excessive. That term, excessive, is something that people don't use. You don't pocket watch other lawyers unless it's really bad. So, I mean, it's bad, guys. Like, it's bad. It's... Look at the difference in cost. Look at the difference in cost between these two guys. One of them costs less than $100,000. And he's a Queen's counsel, which is expensive. The other team costs over $200,000, and the judge is literally saying, "How the hell do you get to these numbers?" So not only does Billy have the better attorney, at least at this point in time, this is all public information, by the way. How in the world? You know, like, and remember, Billy is the plaintiff. the plaintiff has burden of proof. So if anyone has to spend more money, it would be on Billy. Right? It would be Billy because he has the burden of proof. He has the initial burden of proof. So how in the hell, at this point in time, in 2022, is Billy's lawyer half the price of Karl's team? When Billy's lawyer is, like, better. Like this doesn't make any sense. Like, somebody make sense of this for me. And I don't want to make fun of Michael DeWard any more than I have to. But look at the areas, I really don't want to go to his website. Look at the areas this guy is practicing in. Admin law, appellate, arbitration, mediation, evaluation, banking and finance, building and construction, bankruptcy and insolvency. Okay, that might be useful now. Commercial, contract, defamation, equality, inquest, commission of inquiry, and statutory tribunals. How can you be an expert in all these areas? I don't understand. Like, we need a defamation attorney. We need a defamation attorney. We do not need this. I'm going to do it. What I was going to do, there's something where it's something that is like really. Let me make sure that I pick the right one. Oh, he changed his profile picture. This is new. Hey, Michael's got. Hey, Michael's got a new profile. Is this Michael? Yeah, Brisbane. Yeah, this is Michael. Hey, Michael can afford a new profile picture, guys. Holy shit! Did he really get a new profile picture? Hold on. Okay, he did. That. Well, we know where the money went now. Holy shit, the homie got a new profile picture. Oh, man. Oh, jeez. But, okay, back to my point. How can you be... So, I practice law. I am an immigration attorney. I do that as pro bono. I don't make any money from it. That's kind of my hobby. And then I do patents for a living. So, I'm a patent attorney. So I do marketing, I have an AI company, I have other stuff, but as a lawyer, I make 95% of my legal fees doing patents and then maybe 5% helping friends with immigration, okay? This mofo has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 different areas where supposedly he practices in. And look how young he is. Look how young he is. You're going to tell me, right? You're going to tell me. And yeah, he did get a new.
Hey guys.
He did get
at least a 5% chance. Counsel.
Yeah, he looks a little older now, but like when I looked at his picture, I was like, how in the world is this guy an expert in all these areas of law? Right? Like, when I looked at this picture, this guy looks like he's like 19, like 20. He looks like a young guy, right? Obviously, he's older than that. I'm just exaggerating. But like, how did Karl pick this guy? Anybody, Karl's just trying to save some money. No, he's not cheaper. I showed you that at this point in time, Billy Mitchell's lawyer, who's a Queen's counsel, who's better, because by definition, Queen counsel is better than non-Queen's counsel, is half cheaper. Half off. And this homie, he's an expert in like so many different fields of law. How old is he? Like I said, I'm 37, almost 38. I can do immigration sufficiently. I can do patents really well because I passed my patent bar exam when I was 21, which I don't think anyone has done. I think it's very rare to do that. right? To pass your patent bar exam before passing your state bar exam, which I have. And my dad was a patent attorney, so when I was in middle school, I would help my dad do patents. So, but I would not say I'm an expert in trademark. I can do it, yes, but I would not say I wouldn't. This dude, at like age whatever he is advertising that he can do all of this stuff. Like, does this make sense to anyone? Like, and some of this stuff is so different. So, building and construction. What does that have to do with defamation? Banking and finance. Admin law. Equity. I mean, this doesn't, I mean, I am so, when I looked at the dude's profile, I was like, the dude looked very, now he has got a different picture, okay? He got a different picture. But how in the world can you be good at all these areas of practice when you're this young? Right? And when you saw him, even Cat, even our good friend Cat is saying, you know, this is Cat who's saying this, man. Let me read this to you again. Wow, Cat, you know, what a good job wow, the one dude, you gotta say, this dude can write. This dude can write. Holy moly. Let's read the own goal. Here's where we get to KB, which is that attorney, gargantuan mistake. Yeah, the finance, these are not the same areas of law. Like, this guy must be like a supernova lawyer to be good in all these things. Right? Like he's gotta be like some, like, he's, like, what? None of these areas of law actually kind of, make sense together. When you think about them together, they really don't make any sense. Like, why would banking and finance have to do with defamation? Yeah, KB is Karl's barista and so on, right? Look at this. Let me just read you this one more time, and then I think we're going to log out, but... Okay. This is Karl Jobst' like biggest supporter. I want to fucking scream at my computer. How do you, as Karl's barista, possibly mess up this timeline that badly? These are basic, essential facts about this case. It would be like a defense counsel at a bank robbery trial remarking, well, you know my client probably did rob that bank, but I'd rather talk about something else. What the fuck? It's probably a good thing I wasn't physically in the courtroom. During that sequence, I would have empathetically shaking my head, whispering, that's not true. That's not true. That's not true. And when KB just accepted it and moved on, I probably would have gotten up. This is a dude watching it. He's saying, and I honestly, I don't doubt Cat, right? I do not doubt Cat at all that he would have done this. He would have got up from his seat, ran over to Karl's solicitor, grabbed him on the shoulder. What the hell? None of that is true. You gotta get in there and get him to correct that. What is he paying you for? This is the quality of the lawyer. That a random layperson from America who doesn't really understand Australian law that well knows this is a massive, critical, as he would call it, a gargantuan era. He calls it an own goal. Okay? And not only does this guy cost more money, twice as much money, he's less qualified, he's not a Queen's Counsel, which is the best of the best. Right? In America, we don't have that. But like in Australia, they have Queen's Counsel. So yeah, you better offer a Queen's Counsel. But he says he can do all of this for you. Banking and finance, arbitration. He can build you a home. He can build you bankruptcy and insolvency. These are very, very. Look how young he looks in the pic. Now he's got a new picture now, so he looks a little older. He's got a new hairstyle. He looks a little older. Okay. When you are a jack of all trades, you are a master of none. I think that's what happened here. Karl somehow picked. So Billy's lawyer is older, but more importantly, he is Queen's Counsel. He is Queen's Counsel, the best out of the bloody best. Okay, I had no idea this mother effing thing existed. You know, and when I googled it, I couldn't believe it. I was like, holy shit! Like, they have like different tiers of lawyers in Australia. In America, it's just like whatever, right? So you have a situation, and this is what I want to say. I made a video before this verdict, and I said if Karl Jobst were going to lose, it would be because of his lawyer. Now again, Squirrel, I will address your concerns. Is it possible that Karl picked a lawyer who would let him make videos, who would let him tweet? Humble? I'm not humble. I'm sorry. I'm going to ruin this dude's life if I win. I am a sore loser. Like, would Queen's Counsel, let's say that they switch lawyers. Let's say they switch lawyers. Let's say, would Billy Mitchell's lawyer, who's Queen's Counsel, who has all these requirements, who has to be the top of the top, and who has to be the best of the best, do you think that lawyer would allow Karl to produce video after video, tweet after tweet, go on Camelot's live stream and just wreck? There is no way in hell a Queen's Counsel, because this is a reputation thing. You don't want to lose this case, and more importantly, you don't want your client to make you look like an idiot. You control your client. Billy Mitchell, somebody said he tweeted 3 times. Okay, maybe. But he ain't got no videos. And people, he doesn't make video. Like, they can tell me every excuse under the sun, but I promise you, a King's Counsel is not going to behave in this match. They will leave. They're going to say, hey, I am not going to represent you anymore, Karl. I think we have a difference of opinion here. I do not want you to continue to bash Billy Mitchell. I want us to settle. You know what a good lawyer does? He settles. When I was sued, my first lawyer was terrible. My second lawyer was really good. And I did not want to settle because I had paid a shit ton of money. He convinced me to resolve the issue. He convinced every other lawyer to resolve the issue. And we probably saved millions of dollars from that lawsuit going to trial. We didn't go to trial. It resolved before that time. So, like, a good lawyer is going to tell you to settle. Settle means there's no appeals. Settle means there is certainty. This is what has to be paid. Then it's done. This is what has to be done. This is what has to be deleted. A good lawyer, as I found out from myself having to hire a good lawyer, my second one, is someone who's willing to put everything on the table. It's someone who's willing to sweet talk, right, with honey, right, instead of vinegar. It is someone who's not going to let their clients, you know, when I wanted to make video after video after video, right? I wanted to make videos saying how bad this situation was and how much I hated it and how much, my lawyer said no. Because if you make one video, our settlement chance is over. And I said, why do we need to settle? Why don't we just go to court? I paid so much money. Let's go to court. Your retainer is full. Let's do it. And he said something very wise. You keep all your options on the table. Settlement is best. Because even if you go to court and you win, they just appeal it. And you're going to be stuck at another 2 to... So my case took 4 years. We never actually went to trial. Because my lawyer was really smart. And he was able to tell me, and we also did a lot of these questionnaires, and we would meet at this cafe in between us, and we would just go over the emails and go over the questions, and the dude trained me really well. So I'm very emotional, as you might And I think I've been slighted. I feel the same way Karl feels. I feel the same way Bill Mitchell feels, right? I feel the same way like every defendant feels. Why am I being sued? I can't believe I'm being sued. And at the very end of the day, I resolved the issue. I didn't go to trial because it would cost way too much money. And honestly, like that anger is not worth it. I saved probably $500,000 because that lawyer was in my side and he can control me. And I was not being, people crash out online too much. It's very easy to get yourself worked up and say this. And I was very mad. And my first lawyer, he was more than happy. He was like, yeah, let's get out them on social media. Let's get them online. That didn't help nothing. My second lawyer, because my first one did a bad job, and this is exactly what Karl had a decision to make. Karl had a decision to make when they asked him for another $200,000. At that point in time, Karl should have went with a different law firm. And I told Karl this. In fact, let me go on the comment section. I told Karl about my situation in the comment section. I'm going to try to find it. I replied back to Karl. So in that thing, we replied back to each other. And I said, in my experience, I had a very bad attorney, like you had a very bad experience. I chose a different attorney, and I was very happy with the result, which was a resolution. Okay? Karl replied, I'm very happy with my... Let's read Karl's reply in my stuff. I'm going to try to find it. But, this lawyer did not do Karl any favors. Because you cannot say, I don't want to settle, and then make a settlement for $3,000, right? You don't do this. You don't make the settlement for $3,000, which is kind of like a whatever. If Billy's lawyer is correct, $3,000 nothing. When you are, he's grumpy. He was grumpy when he commented on my video. Mech, do you have the video? Do you have the title of that? Can someone find the title of the video where Karl commented on my video? And then just type in the title here. Because that'll probably be the last thing we go over tonight. I think that's really important to understand Karl's mental state at that point in time when I was in the middle of covering the trial. Because I think that is really, really important. Number one. So that somebody please find that. Yeah, King, no problem. But it does exist. It does exist. A chat exchange from me and Karl does exist, and I tell that story to him. I'm going to try to find it a little later here because I think it's super important to understand the mindset and where Karl could have stopped the bleeding. The mother effing judge is telling Karl it's excessive. It is excessive. He's using this term not because it is a term that we use. We don't use this term. We don't pocket watch other attorneys, okay? Attorneys don't do that. I mean, I have never seen this. Judges do not do that for attorneys. It is excessive. Look at that word. Excessive. Excessive. The judge is talking about Karl's attorney fees. That's wild. That's wild, man. I mean, that is... So I understand. So, like, Squirrel's right. There is some blame on the lawyers. I don't think they were the best that you could buy, right? But there is some blame on Karl. Because Karl had a lot of warning signs that this thing was not going to go the right way. The amount of money, when they estimated $200,000 and they wanted to charge $600,000, I think somebody just commented that his entire fee was $600,000. Is that correct? Can someone check that for me? Was Karl's entire fee $600,000? But regardless of how much money it was, the first warning sign was this law firm gave me an estimate that wasn't anywhere close to what they eventually would charge me. You know, that's like a roofer giving an estimate of $10,000 and then charging you $30,000, right? Or a roofer charging you, or a guy who comes to fix your garage And before you tell him about the problem, you talk a little bit, you chat a little bit, and he's like, you know what? Sounds like an easy problem. It's going to cost $300 to fix. Then he gets here and he's like, well, you know what? I really want $900 for it. The problem didn't change. It was exactly as you described. You sent him pictures, you sent him stuff, right? You sent him all the pictures and images of the garage. So he tells you on the phone it's going to be $300. In fact, you know what? I had this exact thing happen with a squirrel actually in my roof. So my daughter's room, there was like a squirrel living there, and so we called a guy, and on the phone, oh yeah, Karl said it was $600,000. On the phone, he said it would cost like $300 to get the squirrel out. But when he came over to my home, he wanted to barricade the garage. He wanted to climb the roof and put like cement on top of the things, and then he wanted like $1,800. I was like, no, we need to get this squirrel kicked out, right? We need to get this squirrel out. You told me on the phone it was $300. I sent you pictures of where it lives and stuff. I thought you were just going to go up to the roof, fix that little part. And he was like, oh, well, you know how the squirrel works, right? It can just get back in anywhere it happened. Eventually, I just bought like some glue on Amazon, and that was the end. That was the squirrel. Don't worry, it didn't die. We took it to our park that we go to. So the squirrel's still alive, but it took less than like $100 to fix on Amazon, right? So I'm just saying, man. I'm just saying that like there is something completely. Yeah, if this costs $600,000, I don't know. Because I don't think Mitchell, I think if we look at this number here, and we assume that this number is going to go, bigger, right? So Karl's number went from 200 to 600. Billy's number should have gone from 100 to 300,000. Still, I think he was talking about, it's always Australian dollars, right? Right? It's always Australian dollars. Yeah, so like I get it, man. So warning sign number 1, you are pissed at your law firm because they have overcharged you, and you know you've been overcharged. You know you've been overcharged. In fact, the mother effing judge tells you to your face 2 times, uses the word appears excessive. When your lawyers came up with their little outline of how they're going to spend their money, they said is excessive, not appears. Number 1, is excessive. So that this should be a warning sign. So this is when Karl paid $200,000. Okay, this is before his law firm got another $200,000. So at this point in time, the lawyer, the judge, a neutral party. The judge is saying, when I looked at your law firm, Karl, what the hell is going on here? Why do they need $25,000 for this? Why do they need $25,000 for this? Why do they need $2,500 to respond to an email? Well, Karl, can you I don't think he was like, I honestly don't think that judge was like, I think the judge wanted to help Karl out. They had to itemize. So the judge made them itemize every line because he couldn't believe how much it cost. And then once they itemized every line, one of the lines was is excessive, and the other line was appears to be excessive. Okay, so let's say we have an independent contractor, okay? And they go to the roofers, right? And the roofers, they want to charge a shit ton of money, and they're like, I want you to itemize the list. And the independent contractor that you hired, that's neutral, right? It's neutral. He's building a home. I don't know how it's neutral, and he's like, oh, this is excessive. This could be excessive. What is this $2,500 for? Wouldn't that be like a warning not to hire those roofers? Wouldn't that be like the number 1 warning? And then later on, if $600,000 is the right, that was a free time. Like, I get it. Lawyers are expensive and lawyers make mistakes. When is the last time you went to like get an estimate or something? Let's say an estimate on a roof or a home or something like that. And let's say you go to build a new home, and they estimate it costs $200,000. And you're like, all right, I can afford that. Then they keep adding to the mother effing home. And they gotta build a patio, and they gotta build this and this and this. They gotta keep building. And then your home that you thought was going to cost $200,000 ends up costing $600,000. At what point in time from $200,000 to $600,000 are you going to tell the contractor no? Are you going to tell the contractor, hey man, I'm going to hire someone else to build my home for me? Right? The judge is literally telling Karl, and I'm promising you this, the judges do not pocket watch because at one time they were lawyers, and at one time in the future they may be lawyers again. No judge wants to have to tell another lawyer, hey, what the hell is this $25,000? Like, look. Further, it seems to me the cost of $25,000 attributed to drafting the defense, that's how much money it cost, in the first place is excessive. The mediation that has been conducted, but again, I'm unable to discern how the aggregate costs are said to increase to $25,000, which also appears excessive. He's saying this in the nicest, most obvious way possible. I'm unable to discern any justification for the increase of $2,500 for plaintiff's review and instruction for the reply. This is basically an email. Like, at what point in time are there like so many red flags? Karl's got to choose a new law firm. Okay, again. Okay, so that's one thing. They told him $200,000. It cost $600,000 according to my chat. The judge is telling him what the hell is going on here. Well, why are these amounts so extreme? Karl knows Billy's lawyer, Queen's counsel, by the way, at this point in time, who's a plaintiff, has burden of proof, right? He's got to do more work because he got burden of proof. At this point in time, Karl knows that Billy's lawyers, which is a better lawyer, by definition of Queen's counsel, is half the cost of his lawyer. At what point in time do you, so yes, I do blame. Your lawyer is letting you make Billy Mitchell video after Billy Mitchell video. Your lawyer is okay with you plastering it on YouTube and Twitter, which is not normal. CoffeeZilla hasn't talked about Logan Paul. Attorney Tom hasn't talked about Logan Paul since CoffeeZilla's lawsuit. Logan Paul has not talked about CoffeeZilla. At what point in time do the warning signs stack up? Like, at what point in time do you look at your law firm and say, why are you charging me so much? How come you guys... Okay, okay, fine. You pay that amount of money. You pay what you need to pay. You pay what you need to pay because you think you have the best attorney possible. F the Queen's counsel. I don't care. F the Queen's counsels. They're just a bunch of losers. They're a bunch of old losers who don't know what they're doing. I got a lawyer. He's an expert in finance. Construction, he's an expert in admin law, he's an expert in mother effing anything I want him to do. He's an expert in. Alright, we're going to run. Okay. Day one. Day mother effing one. Day one. My trial for Billy Mitchell has just been scheduled for the 9th of September. It will finally be over soon. Does he have to attend? Yes. Yes. How long has it been going for? 3 years. Can he bail out? Will it be ordered? Has Billy tried to settle at any time? Blah, 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 blah. There's posts from that account. Assuming I win, there will be many videos. Many videos. So he's going to trial, but I think he changes this, right? I mean, am I going crazy? Yeah, my lawyers confirmed that they will enforce it in the U.S. They've done it before. Does he have to attend trial? How many days? Interesting. How many days will it be? 6 days. So it turned out to be 7. Australian Hume, 3 years. Can you bail out on the 8th of September? I remember there was a date. There was a date. If he loses, he will be too poor to sue. I remember there was a date where they got the wrong date. Maybe he deleted it. But I know there was a date. I remember there was a date that was wrong. I'm almost positive because I covered this. I screenshotted everything. I did my due diligence, right? Where can somebody find this for me? It's got to be a tweet. It's got to be a tweet because there was a date that was changed. Okay, let me just find it. Let me find it because I think this is important to understand. Does he have to attend? Will it be recorded? You can't bail. No, we got Billy Mitchell, absolute legends. Does he have realistic Godspeed? Will it be televised? Will it be televised? It's over, Billy. Godspeed. Good. There was a guy who then asked, like, when is the trial here? How can I find this? Billy Mitchell trial date. Lawyer gave me wrong date. Okay. I'm trying to find it. I promise you, I'm trying to find that tweet because it's just basically. Okay, you guys are going to have to believe me. I think I have a video about it. I think I have screenshots about it. But essentially, the law firm gave Karl Jobst a wrong date. It gave Karl Jobst a wrong date. I think it was in this tweet thread somewhere. But I don't see it anymore. But I promise you I did see it. And I did make a video about it with the screenshot. Where the date was wrong. The date was wrong. Michael Ward. I don't think. What is this? David, attorney. This is Twin Galaxies. Yeah, they're King's Counsel now because the Queen has unfortunately passed away. Feeling for you, homie. There's no way this is still going on. Show stats. Almost wishing you all the best. Best of success for you. Okay, well, anyway, you're just going to have to trust me on this one because I have covered it in great detail. The date was wrong. The date was wrong. So, their lawyers, the lawyer and their team gave Karl Jobst the wrong date of trial. This is a very, very bad mistake. And I think it's a bad omen. Not only is it a bad omen, but it shows me that the legal team is not really paying attention to my case. Because how in the world can they get the date wrong? I have to show up. I have to schedule my life. What if I had a job? I had to take off days of work. How can a law firm get the date of trial wrong? I've never seen that before. I don't understand how that's possible. Because, like, in the real circumstance, for me, I had to find, like, a babysitter for my 8-month-old. I have to tell my significant other. I had to tell my clients, hey, I'm in 7 days of trial, maybe 2 weeks of trial. How do you get the date of the trial wrong? I do not know how that's possible. So that should have been warning sign number 1. And then, of course, we have our good friend, Urs Cat here. So Apollo Legend did settle. Yes, they did settle. Apollo Legend did settle with Billy Mitchell. Billy Mitchell did not make Apollo Legend pay him any amount of money. So when they settled, Billy paid for his own lawyers. Apollo paid for his own lawyers. There was no damages. Apollo did have to give copyright over the video to Billy Mitchell. And any future videos involving Billy Mitchell would have to get the expressed consent of Billy Mitchell. From Apollo, if Apollo Legends want to make that. When I look at this, and I read this case, it's like a grand chess master, Queen's Counsel, King's Counsel, against a checkers player. And all the checker player wants to do is go home, collect his paycheck, It literally is like a grand master. Like I remember this guy in he would play in New York. He was very famous. He would play in New York all the time. It would literally be like a grand chess master playing a preschooler who thinks they're number one, they're playing the different game. They are playing the different game. One of them is playing chess, the other one's playing checkers. And the checker player still believes this is about cheating. And the checker player still has no idea how they could have lost. Right? When this had nothing to do about cheating at all. And this is the true, you read this, and this is the conclusion you're going to come to, is the lawyer did not prepare Karl Jobst for this. The lawyer did not tell Karl Jobst, please, for God's sake, do not post more videos about Billy Mitchell. Do not tweet about him. For God's sake, do not go on a live stream. Do not do this. So either two things is happening. Both of them can be true. Karl picked a lawyer that would allow him to continue to make videos because that's how he makes money. So he specifically picked a lawyer that would do what he told him to do, which is not why you have a lawyer. You have a lawyer to tell you to shut up. You have a lawyer when you're angry. So when I was really, really angry, when I was so pissed because I was like being sued and I wasn't even part of the company and whatever, right? I'm not going to go over my case. I wanted to go to trial so bad. And my first attorney was like, yeah, we go to trial. Don't worry. He was just a yes man. The best thing for me and my family, right? My significant other was pregnant at the time, was to resolve the issue, to settle. Like, and my good lawyer, the second lawyer, sat me down and said, okay, let it out. Let it all out. And I said, I'm going to make this video about them. I'm going to destroy their company. And, I have 10,000 YouTube subscribers and at least 100 of them were going to be mad. And I was as mad as Billy Mitchell. I was mad as Karl Jobst. We didn't go to trial. We were on the day before trial. It got resolved. And I can tell you, as someone who has an 8-month-old daughter, and my trial was resolved right before her birth, thank God my lawyer helped me. Thank God I hired the right lawyer. He cost an arm and a leg, and he's a relatively well-known lawyer in Houston. But thank the fucking God I didn't hire the wrong guy. Thank the God I didn't stay with the first lawyer. And I'm trying to find a comment in my video telling my story. I told my story to Karl. And he said, no, I love my lawyer. There's a statement where he says, I'm going to find that, and then we'll end at that. Right? Like, look. You got a kid to raise. Is it really that important that you prove that Billy Mitchell was a cheater? And that's not even what you're proving. That's not even what the case is about. Is it that important for you to slay Billy Mitchell's dragon when you have a kid? And that's exactly what the guy told me. The guy said, I have 2 kids. I understand what it's like to be in your position. You got to think long and hard, because even if you win, I think we can win. I think you can win. I am going to win for you. If we go to battle, we're going to win. But you got a kid on the way. I have 2 kids. They're expensive. They take your time. You're going to feel stressed. You don't want anything to impact the kid. Why not settle down? Why not, think about all the options, and why not, let's work it out. Let's work it out. The other side, they're human beings too. Okay, they're human beings as well. Maybe they don't want to deal with this anymore too. And I was mad. I wanted to go to court. I had paid the money to go to court. It was in that retainer thing, which also got refunded to me. So it was good. I got some extra money. A good lawyer isn't going to let their client say, I'm not going to settle. I'm not going to settle. I'm going to be a sore loser. I'm going to go for the throat. I'm not going to settle. Hey, be humble. Please be humble. That's just one of his holy shit. I mean, be humble. I'm sorry. Is his response to his subscribers saying, be humble. I'm here to tell you, a good lawyer would have settled. A good lawyer would have settled. because it is in everyone's best interest. And people say, oh, Billy Mitchell would never settle. Whatever. Like, look at this. Look at this. Like, you tell me Billy Mitchell not going to settle? Like, if you apologize to Billy Mitchell, you don't think he's going to settle when he's posted, when not even him, you have posted this. And it's like, all these things, right? Where's that video? Your strategy was to blow money on lawyers? Oh, jeez.
This mean if...
Your strategy was to blow money on lawyers, make Billy lose even though you defamed him, and laugh while he pays your fees. You figured it didn't matter since he already had a bad rep. That's wrong. You don't get to lie just because someone's hated. Should have shut up and settled. Yes. Now in hindsight, I bet you he would have settled. But back then, it was about this and that and this and that. Look, man, like, a good lawyer, and I know the difference because I had two of them. I had two lawyers for the same case. I was in this case for 4 years. The reason I left my first lawyer, nothing he said was happening. Right? Like, everything he would tell me would happen. Summary judgment, motion for dismiss. Oh, I'm not going to have to be deposed. We're not going to have to... Nothing he told me actually happened. So very early on, I got very suspicious that, like, he didn't know what he was doing. Because he would tell me X. X would happen next week. And then it would be like a year later and X happens. And it's like, wait, you told me it was like last week. Like, look. Like, at the end of the day, I wanted to go to trial. My second lawyer said... Oh, okay. Thank you, DMCA. Thank you so much. Okay, that's it. Thank you. That's the correct. Yeah, that makes sense. My second lawyer. Thank God I met him. He's the best. If you guys need a lawyer in Houston, I got a good one. Right? He costs a shit ton of money, but my gosh, he can. I mean, he. Let me put it this way: had I not met that second lawyer, I probably would be in trial today. And waiting for a verdict, right? Like that dude was so smart, and like in a way that like I didn't understand a lawyer could be smart. He just said this. Okay, epic fight for $1. Oh, you see, like I get mostly dislikes. Okay, so I get mostly dislikes on my videos, guys. Okay, here we go.
Hey guys, so I think what is clear.
Okay, so this is Karl Jobst responding to me. So what I want to tell you is a good lawyer, first of all, keep all your options open. Don't just say, oh, he doesn't want to settle with me, because that can change. Maybe he doesn't want to settle today, but maybe 4 years later, he wants to settle. Okay? You gotta keep your options open because you don't know where that person is. Maybe they just had a kid like me. When I'm single, I go to war. When I started this mother effing case 4 years ago, I went to war. Because I'm single, I make a shit ton of income, I have nothing better to do with my time, and it's kind of exciting. Your blood gets up a little bit. So I said, we go to trial, we go to war. So I found a lawyer that would go to war with me. And all he talked about was war. Yeah, we're going to get them. Nothing he told me actually happened, but at the time, he was like, yeah, we're going to get them. We're going to get them. We're going to get them. That was absolutely the wrong way to look at it. And then in 4 years, I met my significant other. We're happily in a relationship. We've been in a relationship for some time. We have a daughter, Farina, who's 8 months now. She has her own YouTube channel if you guys want to check it out. Yeah, Billy Mitchell's settlement with Apollo Legend, it was extremely reasonable. He didn't ask for $1. He didn't ask for him to pay his legal fees. It was a reasonable settlement. It was as reasonable of a settlement as Apollo Legend could get at the time. And yet, you have people saying he didn't slay the dragon. He was going through mental health problems at the time, my friends. And it wasn't fake mental health because we know it wasn't fake. In hindsight, I can tell you everything that he said about mental health and how this stuff was affecting him was true because you don't blank yourself otherwise, right? You don't, right? Look, man. I mean, the settlement with Apollo Legend could not. I mean, yes, he got the videos taken down. Yes, right. That happened, right? But holy shit, right? Again, I don't know who these people are from Karl's chat, but you guys, I don't know how you guys can justify that you won. But anyway, it is what it is, right? So thanks for outing yourself as a hater, so it saves me time to block you from this later. It just saves me time if you guys out yourself as haters right now, while I'm at it. Karl Jobst. This is 5 months ago. None of this is made up. None of this is fake. It's all time-stamped by YouTube. It's all legit. Given you are hell-bent on making so many videos, I think I will set the record straight. In May 2022, I made a settlement offer. Billy declined. I did my part to avoid this. Again, according to Billy's attorney, the settlement offers seemed to be $3,000. The clips of me talking about not settling came years later when I already sunk hundreds of thousands into a defense. Billy has to win and win a lot more than $1 for the court to award him cost. The damages would need to be greater than my settlement offer. Thank you, Karl. This does seem like it's been farmed pretty lazily for content. Also, the takes on the details seem pretty ill-informed and many incorrect. Australian defamation law is way different than American. I'm rooting for you, man. As one Queenslander to another, I don't mind the incorrect legal take. Australian law is definitely different, and no one is going to have a clue what's going on. Ah, interesting. No one is going to have a clue what is going on, and clearly today, they still do not know it's not about cheating. When is final statements going to be made? I want to know the verdict. Closing arguments are Friday, but the judgment might take months, depending on how long the judge takes. It could be a long while. So this is actually correct. Karl did predict that. Is it Australian legal strategy to openly complain in YouTube comments during active litigation? Just wondering. Misinformation. Glass house, Karl. He's an attorney. You are a gamer dad with no work history. You're going to send a cease and desist and cry about it. Love your channel, Karl. Kind of makes me feel a little like you made Billy feel, right? I think you should just say sorry and shake his hand. He may just say that's all he wanted, right? Guys. Look. That's all he wanted. I think you should just say sorry and shake his hand. He may just say that's all he wanted. At this point in time, this is actually during the trial. At this point in time, why not? And God bless, I have that lawyer, right? Because that's all they really wanted. They just wanted to talk it out, right? They wanted to understand what happened and where the money went and what they just wanted to feel like they won a little bit, right? They didn't need to go to trial. They didn't want to go to trial. They just they said they want. Everyone says they want to go to trial, but in the back of their minds, they're like, oh shit, this thing is expensive. Like, that's all he wanted. I think you should just say sorry and shake his hand. He may just say that's all he wanted. Maybe. I wouldn't concern. This guy's video barely has any views, so these informational stuff are reaching almost no one. Yes, you mother effing idiot. That's why none of you, including you, which is now edited, that's why this mofo, right, does not. I believe this. Is this guy in chat? If we can bring this guy to chat and we don't update him, I bet you he still thinks it's about cheating. I bet you this guy right here still thinks this case is about cheating. You know, like it's true. I barely get any views. Karl gets millions of views. So who's going to win when they describe the case? It'll be Karl. Right? I get 1,000 views, maybe 2,000 views. Right? Like, if I'm lucky, maybe 1,000 views. Like, the reason the reason everyone on Reddit is so shocked and everyone on Twitter is so shocked this is not about cheating is because no one watches my videos. He's absolutely right. Right? Because 99% have no idea what's going on for you to waste your attention. Yes, he's right. 99% of the mother effing people still have no idea who Apollo Legend is. Because they've never heard his name. They heard his name in a video long ago. But all they heard was Billy cheating. I covered cheaters. Billy's a cheater. It's not a concern. I probably came across more upset than I am. I really don't mind the videos. I should just have clarified without an adjective. I like Karl. Karl's interaction with me was very civil, right? It's kind of like Billy coming in chat. He leaves hearts. He says, Billy, they don't attack me. They don't blame me for past things. We just have a call. It's civil, okay? So Karl is a civil person. I want Karl and his family not to pay money. I'm probably going to make one more video about this. But I think Billy can show mercy. I think Billy has it in him. Thank you for setting your record straight. Not many people have been covering the trial, and you are doing the right thing, keeping quiet until verdict. Lust is just a dude also interested in it and sharing his opinion, and I respect that. But not only has he clearly been farming this to oblivion, it's getting ridiculous and tabloid level content many times a day. But unfortunately with a plethora of sometimes pretty uninformed takes. Also, often seemingly willingly omitting a lot of context or nuances of Australia. Oh my god! Imagine you wrote this, man. God damn, man, there's a lot. You spent more time writing this than I spent making the video, man. When comparing your case to others, and he will argue very similar when they are not. Or again, even if zero bad intent, being a bit clueless or misinformed in my opinion. Not a lawyer myself. Okay? But I've seen many people claiming to be one, arguing that him being mostly in the U.S. copyright side of the legal branch of his practice and not being a lawyer in defamation cases probably means that even though he's a lawyer, his pro-legal takes are sometimes very dubious, from which my perspective makes sense. Guys, have you ever seen a comment like this before? Have you ever seen a mother effing comment like, what the hell is going on here, man? I do appreciate that at least someone's trying to cover it, but he should seriously self-reflect and dial down on the speculation a bit. Or at least be more truthful as a disclaimer that he is not in fact an expert when it comes to cases like this, or merely the fact that he often does not have the whole story in front of him. It's also not surprising his small audience has become a hub for the extremely small vocal minority of Billy apologists. They are literally less than a dozen people. Guys, are there like only 12 of you? Wait, how many of you guys? 178 right now? Like, what the hell is going on here? Some of them are clearly just trolling or just being super toxic for the sake of it. Often the same dudes that were being super toxic in the Pac-Man blog comments, where one dude was even trying to dox people and stuff. I'm getting bad honesty. And when I tried to contribute in the beginning, correct lust when I could, and have meaningful discussions, I mostly stopped interacting in the comment section because it was just getting toxic. I wish best for you and your family, dude. Seriously. Like, absolute legend. I have never spent that much time on like writing a comment in my life. And you will see comment after comment. And, okay, now we're going to show this. Okay, now we're going to show this. Interesting. I was not aware you made a settlement offer at all. I do apologize if you are upset. I'm a much smaller channel working off documents I can find online. I did not mean to spread misinformation. I found multiple quotes on you not wanting to settle. It seemed like a hellfire approach. Without offering to settle, the damages would be $1 or more under the updated Defamation Act. I still can't find any discussion of the settlement offer amount. Is this information public? I'd like to clarify the amount in future videos. You need to avoid billing winning if it is not $1. This is Karl. Sorry, I am not upset. The settlement offer was never made public until today. Until yesterday. Now it's public. I won't say the amount at the moment. Originally, when I made the offer, I had spent nothing because Notch was paying. It was a good option for me at the time as I wanted to avoid everything that has happened after. If Billy wins, he would need to win more money than my settlement offer to actually win. If Billy loses, the fact that I offered to settle at all and he didn't take it will hurt him greatly. Completely understand on the settlement number being private. If the coverage is ever not correct, please correct me. If you wish to do so privately, you can reach out at my email address, but you can also correct me publicly as well. I was recently sued too for over $1 million for tortious interference. I do mention I'm in the US and not familiar with Australian defamation laws. I did review them and a few cases before jumping into this topic. My mistake was not realizing there had been a settlement offer. It may not seem this way, but I do really enjoy your content, which is still true today. And I hope you beat Billy, who is a scary plaintiff indeed. The legal fees in my case also got out of control, which is true. I had 2 attorneys. I made a decision that was different from yours in keeping your law firm. I'm interested to see how everything goes. Best of luck. I hope you win. Thanks. I'm going to skip this one. While I was upset about the lawsuit costing a lot, I will say my legal team has done a really good job through the trial, and I'm happy with how things have gone. They are expensive, but I am now glad I stuck with the firm. So that's what I wanted to get to. So he's at this point in time, the trial is almost over, and or it is over. So it's some period in time where the trial is either going on or has just ended. And then I'm trying to share a story where I basically had 2 attorneys. One was really good and one was not. I fired one, I changed attorneys. I don't want to say fire because that's not nice. To be honest, most people claim to be online lawyers. Very few of them will post their name in social media. It is very easy to find my bar number. Without having gone to law school or practice in Australia, I can only provide my take on how this case would go in the US, which the majority of Karl's audience is from. I've been open about this and the fact that I'm not licensed in Australia to practice. Comparing a US case to this is not arguing it is identical, as the audience is smart enough to realize US cases have limited, if any, precedent in Australia. If this needs to be constantly stated over and over again that these are US cases like OJ, Hulk Hogan, which is a really interesting defamation case, then I've done a poor job, but I don't think I have to, since the US audience knows these cases are in the US. Good to hear. Without you confirming this information and evidence being presented in court from a blog on a stream, I'm talking about Erd's Cat here, it seemed that you were unhappy with them. I would be too. My legal fees followed a similar pattern, low estimate, followed by attorneys getting more money. That's why I moved on to my second lawyer. I will try my best to cover the case, but I'm not privy to various private information on either side. I thought this was obvious to my audience, but in the future, I will make disclaimers. Yeah, what an awful take. Correcting an inaccuracy is not complaining. It's Karl doing both you, I, and the creator of the video a favor. Look at how the creator reacted versus how you reacted. They showed civil. Like, I've been very civil. I've been very civil, right, to both Karl and Billy Mitchell. I don't think Billy Mitchell, oh, here's our good friend. So if you want to know why we have a live stream yesterday and today, it's shout out to Cytopia. He provides me most of my information from Australia because, again, I'm not Australian. I do not know all this stuff all the time, so sometimes I have to be corrected. This is the guy who corrects me. He has already done that public recorded with the video available on his YouTube. Billy has never made me a settlement offer. So this is a new piece of information from Karl. And again, you get it, right? I don't want to belabor this point, right? This is probably going to be, so everyone's like, you're irrelevant. Such a good lawyer. He does digital marketing instead of actually practicing law. Everyone's just making fun of me. Like, what I've learned, is like, do not allow people to attack you ad hominem. There are a lot of people here, and not everyone wants to learn. Not everyone wants to argue about the topic. There are some people here that just hate you. They hate you because of what you look like. They hate you because of the way that you're talking. They hate you because they just hate you. Right? There's nothing you can do. That's online. But do you need them to be in your chat all the time? Do you need them to be in your chat or in your comments all the time? No. I just block them and move on. But if somebody gives me a criticism, and again, this is not a fun thing to read, right? But I thought the criticism was valid, so I didn't block the guy. Here's what here's kind of my last statement, and it was Billy's in chat again. I think he's been here the whole time. He's been very civil to me. I don't have any ill will to Billy. I feel, in my opinion, I felt like I covered him fairly, and I felt like in terms of everyone covering, again, not that many were covering, but I'm not Urs Cat, right? I'm not Urs Cat, right? I'm not, my coverage was, I think, not as biased as some other people's coverage of the situation. I don't know. It seems like a lot of money. $600K seems like a lot of money. Again, it depends. We don't know how much Billy Mitchell's attorney cost. But if Billy Mitchell's attorney cost what I think he costs, which is half, then yeah, $600,000 just seems like a lot of money for a worse attorney. And you knew he was a worse attorney, and you knew he was overcharging you, and you knew all this stuff, right? So at what point in time do you... I'm trying to tell Karl my own personal experience. Now, maybe it's too late. Yeah, it's probably too late at this point in time. But my own personal experience was my initial lawyer did not do a good job of handling my case. My second lawyer did a great job, right? My second lawyer did a great job. And I mean, maybe Billy, again, I'm not your lawyer. Talk to your lawyer. Would you have accepted a handshake? What was it? It's a handshake. Would Billy Mitchell's in chat right now. Would Billy Mitchell at this point in time, I'm not saying today, I'm saying at this point in time, where's handshake? Yeah, hand. Okay, it's just hand. Would Billy Mitchell at this point in time, before there was a verdict, now I understand a verdict has done, would he just accepted, I'm sorry, shake his hand, and that's all Billy Mitchell wanted? Only Billy will be able to answer this question, right? Only Billy would be able to answer this question. I believe he would. And, it's almost 9:30, so I still gotta do stuff. I got an 8-month-old. My last, no. I mean, my last statement is like, let me paint you a picture. we all know that if, and Karl Jobst has told us a million times, right, that had he won, he would have gloated, he would have popped that champagne. Everyone who supported Karl would feel redemption. They would have destroyed you, Billy. They would have come after your family, your restaurant, your hot sauce. At this point in time, you would have a very, very different type of experience. A very harassment negative to the point that I don't even know what it would look like, because it would be really, really bad. That guy would have shown, Karl Jobst would have shown you no mercy. He would not have shown you an ounce, a millimeter of mercy. And that's why it makes this story so much more interesting, because I don't think we're done yet. Billy Mitchell has a plan, and I hope Billy's plan involves mercy. Because Karl, this is a lot of money for him. His last Elon video, I think, got like copyright striked or it got like taken over by Joe Rogan. And then he took down his last video of his sponsorship. Karl needs money. A lot of you guys think he's really rich. He's financially in a lot of trouble right now, and people are saying bankruptcy. Like when people are telling you to bankrupt yourself and they don't know anything and they've never been through bankruptcy, it's a very bad situation. Like when people in the chat are saying you gotta bankrupt yourself, you know, it's not something you want to. It's not. You're not in checkmate. Okay, you're not like checkmate. I got you. You know, when that's like your best outcome is you got to bankrupt yourself and your family. No. We're going to talk about mercy. We're going to talk. You know, we've gone for almost 3.5 hours. I'm going to talk about mercy. The people who have turned on Karl, I think they should have mercy for Karl. I don't think Karl did anything wrong to mislead you guys. I think that's just kind of nature of the beast, and you were happy to be misled by yourselves. Number one, right? Number one. Number two, it can feel great to win right now. But you know what would change the whole narrative about Billy Mitchell, litigious this, you know, cheater that, would be an act of kindness that we honestly have never seen before. We've never seen a lawsuit go to verdict, one person overwhelmingly win, the other person probably not able to appeal, given how the judge wrote this stuff up. And I mean, it's a complete victory. There's no gray area. There's no, in my opinion, maybe they appeal, but it's going to be hard for them to win. But what an act of kindness that would be. What an act. Karl would not have shown you a shred of mercy. You know this, I know this. But you're not Karl, Billy Mitchell. You're Billy Mitchell. And I've seen you show mercy to Apollo Legend. That is why Apollo Legend did not mention your name when he mentioned 2 other YouTubers. Because you showed him mercy. Again, I would love to interview you, Billy. I would love to know a little bit. Once appeal is over, whatever, right? When it's not in case. I'm not going to put you in a spot like that. But I would love to know what you talked to Apollo Legend about. Because I'm pretty sure you saw a young man who had mental health issues, who was in a critical condition, and you reached out to him, and you said, you know what? I know this lawsuit is affecting you. I got money. I got my hot sauce. I got my restaurant. I can continue this lawsuit for 4 years, because that's what you and Karl Jobst did. You could have done this lawsuit much earlier. But you gave him mercy. The reason he didn't name you, he named that Viper AU dude, who's a huge YouTuber. The reason he was naming mother effing names, okay? Right before he committed the blank, right? The reason he didn't think you were responsible, Billy Mitchell, was you were not responsible. Not only were you not responsible, you didn't drag the lawsuit out just because you had money. Everything everyone said about you, I think, is not right. When I saw the Apollo Legend settlement, I read it. Yeah, you want the videos taken down. You don't. Yeah, maybe like the argument has somehow affected his income. You can just make new videos, right? Like you saw a young man at the time who had mental health issues, trying to make videos, trying to get YouTube notoriety, trying to get his name out there, trying to make an income for himself, trying to make a living, right? You saw a young man who was in a vulnerable position. All I ask of you, Billy Mitchell, assuming that you're still here, I think you are. All I ask you, Billy Mitchell, is that you see a young family. That's how I would view this. Again, not my money, not my 4-year battle. I have no say in what you choose to do. But at one point in time, and maybe 4 years ago, maybe this whole trial made you bitter. But at one point in time, you saw another young man who made videos about you. And instead of dragging it out to trial, dragging it out to painfully, expensive trial, you let it go. You let it go. I think that would be amazing. I think that would be amazing. Because what other human would do this? Would I do this? I don't know. Would Karl do this? Definitely not. Definitely not, right? Definitely not. What percentage of the American population, I know that you love America, I love America too, you can watch my video. What percentage of the American population in your position today, having completely demolished your number one hater, would then reach out and offer any type of settlement? And that's what would make this amazing. So, okay, probably going to make a video tomorrow, but no live streams. Live streams are very tough because I have an 8-month-old and I haven't showered. I'm very sweaty, and I haven't eaten yet. So, yeah. Really cool seeing you guys tonight. Maybe we'll do another live stream sometime later. Yeah, what I'm saying is, Billy Mitchell, if you do this, you will be remembered. You'll be remembered for your mercy. That's what people are going to be remembered for, right? That's what people will remember out of this. Years, decades later. Anyway, thank you all for coming by, and I think we're going to end this broadcast. Everyone, stay safe and take care.